Good evening and welcome to Savva Wright Live tonight. That is me, Savva from Savva Spurs. That's him, Henry Wright from Henry Wright TV. And we are happy to welcome on Jose from Football Ferreira. Mr. Football Ferreira, how are you? Are you well?
Yeah, very good. Thank you. Big up to everyone in the chat and obviously to you guys. And, thank you for having me.
No. Listen, a pleasure.
It's a pleasure from me, definitely, I feel like, I'm in a dream now. I was looking for this for ages. I was keep asking Savva, bring me in a show with Harry and you.
Now, well, you're here now. So look, let's Henry, how are you? Are you well?
I'm good, apart from this massive plaster I've got on my head because I've cut my head open about 20 minutes ago. I was washing my face in the sink and I've lifted up, and right above my sink I've got, like a little mirror at the door where you keep like your toothpaste, and that straight on the corner of it. And
I think he's not telling the truth. I think he saw Romero news. He was injured, and then that happened.
He's bite his head, isn't he?
Yeah, and I was there biting the door, wasn't
I? First of all, before we get stuck in, there are 55 of you in the chat, and I'm sure it will grow very quickly. So welcome to you all. Please hit that like button. And as always, please like, subscribe to Savva Spurs, Henry Wright TV, Football Ferreira. We're all on YouTube, we're all on Instagram, and we're all here putting content together for all of you. Gentlemen, let's get stuck in. And as always, if you do want to leave a super chat, then the money does go to charity. Let's get stuck in, guys. Henry, let's start with the one and only. Just before that, thank you very much for the super chat. That was very, very quick. From Joe Edwards, said, hi, everyone in the chat. Can't wait for the stream. Well, Joe, this one's for you. Henry, let's start with the circus, the clown show that is Manchester United. Everyone knew they were in trouble, but 4-0 down against Brentford in about 35 minutes. Not taking anything away from Brentford. They're a good team. But 4-0 down, 35 minutes. Mate, where do you begin to pick the bones out of
that? I'll be honest. Well, so in the last 3 years, United have lost 4-0 to Everton, 4-0 to Brighton, 4-0 to Brentford, 6-1 to us, and another 4-0 result. They keep blaming managers, etc.
I think it was away to Manchester City, wasn't it?
I think that was before. But let's be honest, they keep blaming managers. It was Ollie's fault. Then they brought Rangnick in. It was Rangnick's fault. Then now it's Ten Hag's fault. The only way that club changes is from the very top to the very bottom if they just rip everything out and start again. They used to 3 years ago they had £380 million that the club have generated through profits in the club reserve accounts, which they use for transfers. Because the Glazers you think Tottenham have had? We haven't spent any. Daniel Levy hasn't spent any money since 2010. The Glazers haven't spent any of their own money on Manchester United. Every player that you see they've signed, and that includes the 90 million for Pogba, Lukaku, Bruno Fernandes, all the big signings they've done, $1 billion in the last 10 years, has come out of the revenue that the football club has generated. They've got no director of football. They've got no chief scout at the moment. Their recruitment is panic buys. I know we'll probably talk about Christensen, Pulisic, Dembele, and every other player that they're linked with. Like last week, it was Rabiot and Arnautovic. They are in turmoil, and it's the results on the pitch. You're looking at the dressing room where it looks like they're some of them agree with Ten Hag, some of them don't. He has got the biggest job in world football, and he's got the hardest job in world football. And I think there is a ticking time bomb on his head, and I can see him resigning before the end of next month because the games they've got Liverpool next. Wow.
Okay, so let's talk about that then. Jose, let's talk. Liverpool. This could be a great chance for them to reignite their season. If he loses that Ten Hag and they're now 3 for 3 in terms of defeats, and with all the noise that's going on with Man United at the moment, Ronaldo he wants to leave. He's just been charged by the police. Bloomberg is saying that Man United are going to sell some of their shares. They're getting knocked back by Rabiot.
They just offered him 450 grand a week as well.
Apparently, the Anthony deal is now back and resurrected. Look, Jose, it's a mess, right? It's an absolute mess. But is Henry right? Is it the biggest job in world football right now?
Yeah, 100%. I agree with Harry. This is something that I was going to bring you up. When Tirhan took Manchester United job, one of my best mates is a big Manchester United fan, right? And we have a chat quite a lot and stuff. And I said, look, I think Tirhan is taking a big risk to take Manchester United job now, right? He's seen what Manchester United went through last season. He's seen what is it all going through with money, like Harry just said, with the Glazers and all that kind of stuff, right? And I thought, don't get me wrong, Tirhan is a good manager, right? He's a manager that is very attractive, love making his teams play in a good football. He has proved that and stuff. But like I've seen you guys saying, and I said that all the time, you could bring Ferguson back, you could bring Guardiola, you could bring anyone in. The mess that is in a club, right? You need to start from down the ball, and like Harry just said, otherwise things are not going to get better. And obviously with Ronaldo's situation as well, do you think that helped? That doesn't help. And I've made a few videos about Ronaldo, and I said, look, don't get me wrong, he's a Manchester United legend, but you can't keep someone in the club that doesn't want to be in there. You can't keep someone that is not happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the result as well. Sorry, Trevor. The result was they were outplayed, they were outrun.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And see, like you've seen Tirhan teams play in football, right? Very attractive, attacking football, right? And even if he wants to try and put that up Manchester United, I'm pretty sure he wants to. You don't see that you don't see anyone's up front putting the high pressure like he wants to, right? And having 5 or 6 players between the 3 up front. You know what I mean? You don't see any of that kind of stuff. You see Brentford was 4-0 after 35 minutes, right? And I swear, they slowed down. If they wouldn't slow down, they would damage even more Manchester United.
So let me ask you both then quickly, because what I don't want to spend a whole show talking about United, and we could, because they are in such a mess. But as Henry said, this has been now. I mean, they blamed Jose, and Jose was poison. They blamed Ollie, and Ollie's not good enough. They blamed Rangnick. Rangnick, isn't a winner. Ten Hag's come in. He's had 2 games, and already the knives are out. What would sacking him do? Like, I know lots of people. Listen, with your Spurs hat on and whoever else you support, it's fine to go, haha, look at Man United. But as a football fan, if you take a step back and say, how much of this is down to Ten Hag? Or has he just picked up nearly a decade's worth of shockingly run football club?
I think Ten Hag could do some decisions better, playing Eriksen as a deep playing playmaker, and then the game before playing him false 9. I feel like he has no identity in his style of play. And he, drop it up. I mean, you look at Varane and Ronaldo on the bench, Champions League's coming out of every ounce in their body. And neither of them can get in the team. Harry Maguire, still the captain. So he could make some decisions better. However, the common denominator in their team is the fact that the players that got Ollie sacked, Rangnick quit, and now Ten Hag, they're still there. McTominay is a championship level player at times. He is absolutely atrocious. He makes, I know Tottenham fans are going to get pissed off at me, but he makes Harry Winks look like a good footballer.
Very true. I agree with you as well. I did a live watch along for Manchester United Brighton game, and I did say, look, for me, I respect every player, but it's embarrassing to see some players that actually make into professional footballers. Look, Fred, come on, look at Dalot, man. Let's be honest.
The thing is, let me ask you then, last question on Man United, Jose. I mean, when you look at it, people keep saying they should be doing a lot better. Now, half of me thinks yes, but the other half of me thinks no, because I feel like, you've got Ronaldo, but he is 38 now, right? And we all know that Ronaldo has got a real kind of Aggie side to him, right? He's aggro when things aren't going his way and the club aren't as good as he is. You've got Dalot, Maguire, Fred, McTominay, Sancho, Rashford.
Yeah.
These players aren't good enough. And then you bring in Eriksen, and people are going, "Oh, see, Eriksen's finished," and it's like, "Well, hang on, slow down. He's joined a really crap club." What can they do now? What do they do, and what is their best hope, lads, for this season? If you're a Man U fan right now, you're not thinking top 4, are you? Where are you realistically thinking you're finishing?
If I was a Man United fan right now, and if I was in charge of Man United, I would bring lots of academy players through, because one thing that Ten Hag is good at is developing youth players and young players, and they're more likely to adapt to your style of play. Players that have been there years, McTominay, Fred. I mean, you look at their back line; it's awful. Like we've got a better defense than them, and our defense is shockingly bad at times. I'd bring through a lot of academy players. They've got one of the best academy. I know you'll disagree, but lots of people disagree, but they've got lots of good academy prospects.
They have, yeah, they have.
I would go and buy Premier League pros. So like players that have been in this league for a while, that are performing well at their football clubs, and start bringing them through. Don't go. What they're doing right now is doing panic buys, trying to put papers over the cracks. Like Christian Pulisic, like that hasn't done great at Chelsea. But you look at their team. Rashford hasn't got a Premier League goal since January. Bruno Fernandes hasn't got a Premier League assist since February. Harry Maguire has had more red cards recently than goals. Like their whole team is rotten to the core.
Yeah, I agree. It's
going
to be years, isn't it?
Yeah, mentally as well. Mentally, the club is in a big mess, and you can't tell that is affecting every single player. You know, mentally, honestly, I don't know. I mean, Manchester United is in big trouble.
I mean, they're in big trouble. Just really quickly before we move on, they're not getting relegated, are they? Let's be honest.
No, I don't think they will. Come on, surely.
I think this is
like Harry just said. You know, I mean, try to start bringing players from the academy, make them play and give them game time. It's basically start from fresh, start from zero. There's no point you going up there and spending. You see that after Matheus Cunha, you know, the Atletico Madrid striker, the 23 years old, he came from Hoffenheim, I think it was like 2 years ago. And I think Atletico is asking for around 55 million. Come on. I just think Manchester United should just don't go in there, waste money, spend money. Just keep what you got. And like Harry said, just start getting some players from the academy. Try to get everyone mentally back into the game and their fitness and their confidence. And, you know, let the season roll. Because there's no point you going up there now and trying to buy, you know, like Rabiot, right? It's that kind of joke. Come on, Manchester United is still a big club, right? Yeah. You're going to get a version of Fred or Tommy, you know. Rabiot is horrible. He's a horrible player, man. Man, I don't know how this guy played for Paris Saint-Germain and Juve as well. But it is what it is. But okay, let's just stay there like this for now.
Let's move on from Man United, because as I said, we could be here talking all day about what's happened. Let's have a look at their neighbours from across the road. They've started with 2-0 away at West Ham, 4-0 at home to Bournemouth. I was actually on my stag do on Saturday, and we played a game.
Now I saw you with West Ham shirt on.
Yes, yeah, that wasn't fun. But we were on a rooftop bar in Southampton. And my mate said, "I'll tell you what we do. Every time Man City score, we'll do a shot." I was like, yeah, what could go wrong with that? And thankfully, they kept it down to 4. But guys, Henry, Man City started the season 6 goals, nothing conceded. All this talk that they might not be as strong because Fernandinho's gone and Sterling's gone and Jesus. I mean, they've just picked up where they left off, haven't they?
Yeah, they're the best footballer team in Europe at the moment for me. The way they play.
As well.
Kevin De Bruyne's goal was out of this world as well, outside of the boot. People tried to compare Bruno Fernandes to this guy a couple of years ago. I mean, for me, the last, let's say since 2015 onwards, I'd say him and Modric have been the best two midfielders in the world. The levels he puts in every single year the ability, the through balls, the passing, the way he reads the game, his footballing IQ is above everyone else on the pitch. The ball's coming to feet, he's already scanning where's the best pass. If you look at De Bruyne as well, he gives the ball away an awful lot, because he's trying to make the best pass. But he's always trying to do the right idea.
And he runs as well.
Yeah, he's got goals in his locker now. Like, he could easily do 10 or 15, but Haaland didn't have the best game. He could have had a couple of goals, but that's how strong Man City are. The star asset doesn't have the best game, and they still score 4 goals.
Yeah.
You know, most teams in the Premier League, Salah doesn't have a good game. Look at Liverpool at the moment. You know?
Yeah, we'll come to them in a minute. I mean, the scary thing for me, Jose, when I was the one in charge of having the alert on my phone for when we did the shot, and some of them were minging. But I was watching the stats, and it was like literally after about 5 minutes, it was like Man City had something like 7 shots and like 90% possession. And you just think, how many teams are they going to do that to again this year? They just have such a brilliant way of playing football, and they dominate, don't they?
100%. I was lucky enough to watch the whole game against West Ham. Absolutely brilliant. They dominate from basically after 2 minutes, the whole game. And against Bournemouth, I was a 3:00 kickoff. I was actually watching the Arsenal. I picked up to watch the Arsenal game, and I managed to watch the highlights of Manchester City. And actually, in 2 games already, I have never seen City start so well, performance-wise, like they start this year. I don't know if you guys agree with me, but I have never seen City, and the 2 games, right? Every single player was pretty much on standing. Like, I know Harry said about Haaland, he only had about 8 touching the ball, I think.
8 or 9 touches.
Like Harry said again, I think I'm agree too much with Harry, but
we'll change that later. Don't worry.
Yeah,
we'll do some controversial stuff later.
Like he's saying, Haaland did not score and pretty much didn't do anything apart from assists, right? But look who scored for Manchester City. They will have always players to score. And I remember you said once, Savva, that the difference between City to any other clubs is the fact that they will have that kind of players who will guarantee you 10 to 12 goals every season.
Jose, do you know what? This is why when
Haaland's movement as well. Sorry, go on.
Haaland's movement is one of the best in the world, and he's so young.
By him just being in there, you know he will attract 4 or 5 players. Will give space to the others. They will concentrate so much. They will have a nightmare to sleep, right? All the defenders will just have a nightmare to sleep. And they're going to go into the game, focus on Haaland too much. And you saw what happened against Bournemouth. He didn't do anything, but everyone else was just absolutely smashing. They wouldn't fly, honestly.
This is the thing about Man City, and I've said this, and Henry, you know this, I've said this for years, is that lots of people, when they go, oh, well, Mara's this, and Grealish this, and Foden this, and the thing is, Man City's players, other than De Bruyne and Haaland, they're not going to get you 18 goals and 15 assists because they share it about. Like, if they win 4-0 and Haaland's not scoring, De Bruyne, Foden, whoever else, assist here, assist there. And that's the beauty of Man City, that it's never if one bloke drops out, the whole team crumbles. They just seem to have such strength in depth. Just a quick bit before we move on to Liverpool. Bournemouth obviously started the first game of the season with a win against Villa.
2-0, yeah.
Brought back down to earth, which they would have expected. Have we seen anything in Bournemouth? It's only been 2 games. Anything to suggest they've got enough to survive?
I don't. In my opinion, I don't think they're going off. But let's see. They start very well with a good win. I didn't expect that, against Villa, even if I don't rate Steven Gerrard. But that was a good win. 3 points to start the season. But I can't see like Bournemouth staying up. But it's too early, Let's see. But
of course. So let's
from Manchester City quickly, because of the 2 games. I've seen a player that, everyone's been doing absolutely amazing. Like we said, best team in the world, playing the most beautiful football without any doubt. But João Cancelo, honestly, what a player. This guy, wow. The 2 games, honestly. And he's a right back, right?
Let's move on. Just before I do, there are 148 of you in the chat and only 55 likes. Let's get that up to 100 as quickly as possible. Please, please, please. I am 10 away from the 1700 mark. So please subscribe to me, Savva Talk Spurs. Subscribe to Henry Wright TV, who's looking at the 7.5k mark, I believe, and subscribe to Football Ferreira, who's just started his journey and is going to do big things. Guys, let's look at Liverpool. The way I see it is, I spoke to my Liverpool mate the other day, and I said, "Are you bothered?" And he went, "No." He went, "It's 2 games." He said, "I'm not worried." He said, "The rest of the world are really happy about this because they're writing us off already." But he said, "We didn't lose them. One of them we played for a lot of the time with 10 men." He said, "We will be fine." And to be fair, I agree with him. I feel everyone's panicking about Liverpool, but cream rises. The cream rises to the top. What do you think of it, Henry?
I'll be honest. I'm not really. Liverpool create so many chances, but I'm not really like. It's a great goal from Diaz, but Palace had so many chances. Eze had Trent on skates. He was dropping the shoulder, cutting in. Trent looked absolutely lost. If Palace can have 4 or 5 chances against you, which Zaha probably should have had a hat-trick, I can't see them getting near Man City this year. I feel like
I don't think they will. I don't think they'll be near City, but I think
they'll be second, or maybe third, unless someone can break out of that pack. But I feel like with Liverpool, so they've brought in Nunes. We'll talk about in a little while. I feel like Nunes, he's like he reminds me of an old school fashioned number 9 who just constantly free roams. You'll find him in different pockets of space. He'll go to right wing, then left wing, then he'll be dropping deep. I feel like with Liverpool though, there's just nothing seems to be clicking for them. They've been awful. Palace were carving them up on the counter. And I feel
do you think, Henry, that is the thing is most teams, like when I watched it, Palace was so deep. They were so deep that with Eze and Zaha, one ball over the top, you're going to be okay. The same way when Spurs play Man City, you're going to get chances because
I see what you're saying, but Palace should not be getting, 5 or 6 chances against Liverpool. Admittedly,
no, you're right. You're right.
At Anfield as well.
Yeah, I feel like now, obviously Man United, Liverpool should go and win that, but it's got to the point where because Liverpool and Man City, the standard is so high, the draw is like a defeat for them.
That is true.
Already 4. I know it's only 2 games in, but say for instance they did drop points against Man United. Say it was a draw, or Man United say did the unthinkable and won in a hypothetical world, and then City won again. You're looking at like 7-8 points already. Which doesn't seem like I know it's so early on, but Man City, I'll be honest, the way they're carving teams up, we could be at Christmas and they're already 10, 15 points clear of second place.
Yeah, no, you're right. We're going to talk later about the Liverpool Man U game, but it's a big game for sure for both clubs. Jose, lots of talk about Nunes, and again, I do feel that football fans are the most knee-jerk people in the world. The guy has started 1 game. He started 1 game of football in the Premier League. The game before that, he scored and got an assist. The Charity Shield, he scored, got an assist and won a penalty. And yet the first game he starts, doesn't play brilliantly, and it's, oh my God, he's crap, he can't handle the Premier League. Are we in danger of being far too knee-jerk about other teams' players?
I mean, with Nunes, there's a lot of quality out there, There's not a question about that. All right, he lost his temper, He got the Uruguay blood. It's normal. You guys know Uruguay and Argentina in a passion. And you know what? That was his frustration because Henderson, another player that to watch this season because his 2 games against Arsenal and Liverpool had absolute very good games. And Henderson was just, all day long, pissing him off. And you know what? Nunes first half should have scored easily 1 or 2 goals. After he's missing all them chances and seeing Henderson not giving him a chance, then, it's going to him, keep pushing him, all that kind of stuff. That's normal. That's in football. Unfortunately, Nunez did not handle that, but there's a lot of quality in there. There's no doubt that I think Nunez is going to be amazing. It's only young, 23. But like you say, it's football fans. What can we say? I mean, football fans are like that,
It's two Premier League games. What makes you laugh?
Seriously, who would ever question a player like Haaland? Come on. The guy is just...
The thing with Nunez is he's missed 9 big chances already. Right, I know he had a great game against Man City. I was watching it live, but for Liverpool, that's 3 points or not. Most Premier League strikers, let's give or take, probably teams in the bottom club. Mitrovic scores 2 goals yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And the chances he's missing, look at pre-season. I think he missed 12 chances. Yeah. The thing with Liverpool, they have it's volume, it's constant, so he will get goals. But
what does that matter?
Just finish off with Liverpool.
Hang on, guys. What does that matter then? Because surely now we're doing what people did back in the day with Andy Cole. Back in the day, Andy Cole, everyone said Andy Cole needs 4 chances to score, but he'd get 30 goals a season. What does it matter? If you are getting 30 goals a season, I'm not saying Nunez will, but if Nunez gets 16, 17 Premier League goals this year in his first year in the Premier League, is that not a good return?
I can't see him getting that.
You don't think so? He's got 1 already.
I think he will, Harry. But can I just finish off with Liverpool?
Yeah.
Like we were saying about Liverpool, I don't think Liverpool is gonna have any problem to finish second. I think City, like Harry and you think as well, that City just flying. Like I said, I haven't seen City start performance-wise, right? I'm not talking about results. Performance-wise, I haven't seen City playing this amazing football in the first 2 Premier League games for so long, right? Mm-hmm. They are going to damage teams. They're going to be by Christmas or the beginning of January. They're going to look back and Liverpool's too far already, or whoever else will be there. But I don't think Liverpool going to have a problem. And we're seeing that. Look, that's my opinion. I think Fabinho has been very poor for Liverpool, not only against Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace was well organized, right? And the set piece, that absolute brilliant Crystal Palace. But look the injuries Liverpool been having. Look how important is Thiago. I've seen a lot of people out there trying to tell me that Thiago but look how much is Liverpool is Thiago, right? Look at that midfield, right? It started with Fabinho, James Miller, and yes. Look at the difference, right? Look at the difference in there. And look, every time Palace, like Salah could have scored, first half, it could have been 2-0 up. Salah could have scored 2 goals. But look at that gap that is living in there. And also, you can't tell Arnold is not fit. He didn't actually had a bad game, but he's making a lot of mistakes. He looks tired, right? I don't know, for some reason. Even against Fulham, he looks so tired, man. And
I do feel, though, that with these types of things, I do feel like we always get so carried away after a few games. I remember last season with Man City, they didn't win in their first 2, I believe, and everyone was going, this is the year they drop. And the thing is about teams like Liverpool and City is they can go on 20-game runs where they don't lose a game. And that's the difference.
You are right, but the Liverpool performances haven't been great.
It hasn't.
They created lots of chances, but I feel like Van Dijk has had a poor start to the season. Fabinho has had a poor start to the season.
Very poor, yeah.
That Zaha finish, by the way, against Alisson 1-on-1 is world class.
He's world class. I thought that as well.
But look, it's 2 games in, isn't it? It's 2 games in.
They could go and win the next 10. They can do that. But
I've got a question for you guys and for everyone in the chat about obviously Mane leaving. Mane is a complete different. If people thought that Nunez is going to replace Mane, that is wrong to think about it because it's complete 2 different players. But from what I've seen, Liverpool since the Community Shield and the 2 first games, that gap from Mane is missing. That gap in there. I mean, when I say a gap, right, some people might gonna look into, all right, is a gap like what? There's Luis Diaz, there's Nunez, there's Salah up front. What gap do you mean? I mean the gap of movement. You know what I mean?
But isn't this almost like people wanting that to be the case? Like, because let's be honest, that movement wasn't their problem against Palace. They had. I mean, I would love to see how much possession Liverpool had and how many chances. I don't think that was the problem. For me, it was more the disconnect between midfield and defence. But I feel like everyone's just going to say now, oh, it's Mane, who didn't even have the best of seasons last year. But
I'm
look,
not saying that is Mane, but I think you know what I'm trying to say. But
yeah,
they had so many chances. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, but I just thought, the Liverpool defender and midfield was just absolute. It was just rubbish.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's like with anything as well. Klopp's, he's brought in different types of players to Mane in Diaz and Nunes. That's now for him to take time to revolutionise that and change that way of playing. That's what top managers do. But what fans do is judge it in 2 games. Fans go, it hasn't worked. It's crap. So I'm not going to, I think I've seen a few people using the term sleep. I'm not going to sleep on them. I have no doubt Liverpool will put a massive run together and will be miles ahead of everyone other than City.
100%. I agree as well.
Let's move on, guys. Let's move on and look at the Spurs-Chelsea game. And I don't want to spend too long because this isn't a Spurs show. Jose, you go first. As someone who's not a Spurs fan, give us your outside opinion of the game. What did you make of it?
For the first 45 minutes, I think me and the world saw that Chelsea was like in a park playing against children, that they just dominate, they did whatever they want to do. And in my opinion, I did watch live along on that game and on YouTube, and I said that Conte is taking too long to react. He's seeing his team getting damaged. He's seeing clearly we can't see the weakness of Tottenham on that first half. It was just taking too long to making changes. And I told you what, you was like, I know you guys support Tottenham, but you already said, I heard you guys saying, and it's true, you was very lucky to not go 3-0 down at half time. Easily. And what I've seen from Spurs was, look, you was losing 1-0 down to Wolves. I actually watched the whole game as well. And you was losing 1-0, but look at the reaction when you was losing, right? Something you didn't have last year in the low games. You was losing 1-0 down to Wolves, you react quickly and you start having the ball, you score, you create chances, putting pressure on Wolves, right? Right, you was losing 1-0 down to Chelsea, right? What should you been doing? Pressing, yeah? Try and get a ball now. We're losing, we're 1-0 down. Let's have the ball, let's go. But now, Chelsea looked the team, they were still losing 1-0. You know what I mean? Chelsea was winning 1-0, but they looked the team, they was always losing 1-0 because there was the one that wanted more, want to have the ball, want to create chances. And first for 45 minutes was just absolutely world-class performance from Chelsea. But at times, like Tottenham did look poor. At times was easy. In every part of the pitch, you could tell that Chelsea was just dominating so easily as well.
Okay, so Henry, let me bring you in there. So you know my feelings on the game, Henry. I feel like Spurs fans are trying to find a lot of positives out of a result that was daylight robbery. I'm not gonna apologise to anyone. It was daylight robbery.
Talk about 45 minutes, then I will finish the second half.
Yeah, we just need to move it on quicker, man. We've got to move quickly. We can't go that deep.
The Chelsea game, Tuchel got it absolutely spot on tactically. What's the way you beat Tottenham? You overman midfield. You put 4 against 2. Bentancur and Højbjerg were chasing shadows for 85% of that game. They overran us. They worked harder than us. They were better defensively and offensively. They broke us down man for man. Ruben Loftus-Cheek took the absolute piss out of Ryan Sessegnon. Had him on skates. He couldn't get near him.
Yeah.
Positives out of the game. One thing we have got in our game under Conte is late goals. Late winner against Man City, late equaliser against Chelsea, late winner against Watford. If that game was under the previous regime, we'd have lost that game 2-1. Thing with Conte is there's like this never to die attitude, regardless of how shit we were. But the best thing about that game is now we have a managerial rivalry back in the Premier League. None of this Pep Guardiola bollocks. You're the best. No, you're the best. Let me shake your hand. We've got 2 managers in the Premier League that fucking hate each other now. And the best game in the Premier League now for the neutral fan, for watching chaos, watching Conte distract Tuchel away from the game, because that's what he did, is Chelsea-Tottenham. But listen, you got a spot on it with daylight robbery.
Can I just throw a spin on that? I mean, for me, look, it's great we got the last minute winner, right? And by last minute, I mean, 97th or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. Brilliant. And everyone going, we would have lost that last year, blah, blah, blah. I've got a different spin on it. My spin on it is, if Chelsea had a striker, that game, we wouldn't have still been in it, and we wouldn't have fought back and won. Now, I know, look, it's all ifs, buts and maybes, but I'm so grateful that Chelsea do not have a centre forward that can put the ball in the net. Because
it's what I've been saying. Chelsea, like Reece James, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Mason Mount, they all had good games through defence through to attack. But like, let's be honest, Kai Havertz is missing lots of chances. Raheem Sterling barely had a sniff in front of goal. They're
not natural goal scorers, are they? They're not.
You're right. If they do get a number 9, it's curtains for us.
Yeah. I mean, look, I don't want to talk about Spurs too much, but guys, I mean, the thing that worried me, and Jose, look, you just said about the first half. The thing that really worried me was that Antonio Conte, and this isn't popular because we're not allowed to say anything about Conte, but Antonio Conte watched that abysmal first half and then sent them out in the second half with the exact same players and shape. That really, really worried me, how he didn't attempt to nullify Kante and Jorginho. And then the start of the second half, it was exactly the same as the first. All Chelsea possession.
Exactly. I agree with you. This is what I was trying to say about, Conte did not react, right? And me as a manager on that game, after 35 minutes, I would have reacted straight away. I would have put players, get ready, got in 5 minutes just before half time. And like you said, spot on, like I said as well, he did not react on time. Second half, the ref was, it helped you, and the VAR as well. But at the end of the day, look, point is a point. You did not lose, and it's a big point for you.
It is. Yeah, absolutely. It is a big point. Let's move on from Tottenham Chelsea, because we can talk about that anytime on the Tottenham show. Henry, let me come to you. Arsenal 4, Leicester 2. Arsenal have started with back-to-back wins. They scored 6 goals. They look better in terms of the shape that they're using.
Well, better is in what, from last year?
Yeah. I mean, in terms of, I don't think that the 4-3-3 or the 4-2-3-1 they played suited them, just because I thought it left them light in the middle of the pitch. But now with Zinchenko, and they're floating between a 4 and a 5, but now with Zinchenko and Xhaka in there, I feel it gives them a bit more solidity. What do you make of Arsenal?
Going forward, fantastic. Gabriel Jesus is playing out of his skin. You got Granit Xhaka playing a box-to-box attacking mid at times. They look like they're going to score lots of goals. However, defensively, not convinced. I think Zinchenko is a good footballer, but I don't think he's a great defender. I'll be honest. A lot of the time, he's out of position. Looks like he's going to be. You could take him on easily, but he's a good footballer. So going forward, they're going to get their money's worth. I feel like if they potentially played, because with Zinchenko, you can play him as a midfielder as well, like they do with Ukraine. They've also got Tierney there, who's another good fullback. But Arsenal look confident. You look at their next games; they've got Bournemouth, then they've got, I think, Villa, then they've got Fulham. Arsenal realistically should win their first 5. I don't want to hear any of this title charge crap. Gabriel Jesus is the next R9, because let's be honest, they're not going to title. Most likely they'll probably bottle something, but they look confident, and the football they're playing is fluid. It's all one touch pass and move. It's like pandemic Pep is trying to play predominantly the Guardiola style of football, but I just feel they're a bit shaky at the back. Leicester had a few chances. Can
I tell you my worry, Henry, with Arsenal? When I say my worry, I feel like obviously we put them down as Spurs fans. They get put down a lot, and they're crap, and they've got no depth. And if they keep Jesus fit, if they keep their squad fit, I feel that they're gonna. I feel the rest of the league is so weak that they'll be there or thereabouts, purely because it might not matter what they do against us and against Chelsea and against City.
One thing though, one thing they don't have, when it all goes to shit, they have no leader in there. I'm not saying Tottenham, Chelsea, Man United, and Arsenal do, but who stands tall and goes, right, okay, we need to sort this out? If they go down to 10 men again, because they get more red cards than anyone else, and when they're playing every 3 or 4 days, when Jesus has to be rotated and they bring in Nketiah, the law of averages, Jesus, if he plays, every minute of every game, he's going to get an injury sooner or later. Sure. It'll be interesting to see how Arteta rotates his front three, because Smith Rowe's barely had a sniff yet. Pepe looks like he's going out the door. Saka hasn't looked that great. They've still got Martinelli. They've still got Jesus. They're gonna have plenty of goals, but how Arteta rotates their team and how they deal with football same as Tottenham. It's going to be interesting to see how Conte rotates Kane and Son. But listen, I think Arsenal will be they'll score a lot but concede a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Jose, what do you make of Arsenal? I mean, Leicester as well. What do you make of Arsenal's start? And obviously Leicester, I mean, no new faces. Is it showing? Are they getting a little bit old and repetitive down at Leicester?
Brendan Rodgers got massive work to do, because I think Leicester, they're going to struggle again this season. And like Harry's saying, look, Arsenal are winning. They are scoring goals. It's just giving them confidence and confidence. More you win, more you score. And you can tell that. Look at the game against Leicester, right? And look at the games they have next. They're away to Bournemouth. I think they're home to Villa or something like that. Look, just imagine, like Harry's saying, them winning them 5 games. But then they will have troubles this season. There's no doubt about that. And defending wise as well, I don't rate Ben Moore. I think Ben Moore is, and especially for the price he's worth, I think Arsenal needs to cover that position if they want to play it with 3 at the back. And Saliba, he scored an own goal, but he had a good game. I thought he had a good game. But I'm not convinced with Arsenal defend, and also Arsenal, like Harry says, when it comes, the same goes to Tottenham. You bring in all these signings now, right? When you want to rotate Kane, Kulusevski, or Son, okay, who are you going to replace with that will guarantee you like a win goals? Who? This is the main thing. Let's say that Gabriel Jesus gets injured. Let's say Martial is injured and stuff. Who are they going to replace? We have to think about that. This is why, look, I've watched some of you guys' shows, I always watch all of you guys' shows. And there are amounts of people I see people when you guys go up, we definitely need to have that backup that is quality, that backup that will replace Son or Kulusevski, Kane, defend Romero, and will guarantee us, what we already got. But you haven't got that, and Arsenal haven't got that as well at the minute. And that's
this is the difference between teams that are able to sustain title challenges and teams that aren't. It's you normally find out how good a team is when someone's not playing rather than when they are. I remember one of the coaches I worked with down at Charlton Athletic used to say to me, he said, you find out how good a player is when they're not playing rather than when they are playing, because you see how much they are missed. Let's move on from Arsenal. And look, I do think Arsenal will be 5th. I just think they're going to be the best of the rest.
Just one last thing about Arsenal. I think if Arsenal gets another, probably like a right winger, maybe another defender, one centre mid, they know they need a forward, someone up front to replace Jesus if he gets injured, or Martinelli. But I think if they cover that, I think they will be serious candidate to finish top 4. That's just my opinion.
Okay. Well, let's move on then. Just quickly, there are 162 of you in this chat, and only 88 of you have hit that like button. Let's at least get it to 100. Come on. And I've had 4 new subscribers throughout the show, so thank you. If I can get 6 more, I get to the 1,700, and that means a lot to me. It might not mean a lot to you, but it does to me, and it's my show, so I'm allowed to say that. Guys, let's move on. There was a couple of 0-0s. I don't want to spend too much time talking about them. Brighton, Newcastle, not really a lot to talk about there. Wolves, Fulham, not a lot to talk about there. Villa getting their first win of the season against Everton. They had already lost to Bournemouth. If your first 2 games are Bournemouth and Everton, you're looking to think that you're going to get some points, right? I mean, what are we thinking about Villa, Henry? And the fact that I think I've just seen that Diego Carlos is out for 6 months with a ruptured ligament.
Yeah.
So what are you making them, Henry?
They're looking at bringing another centre back. That was the El Sakiko.
Yeah.
Lampard and Gerrard, two managers that I do not rate one bit. Do you know what?
Yeah.
I actually watched it. It was the early kickoff. It was actually a really good game. End to end. Everton, though, have got a championship team. I'm sorry. Their up front is awful. They've got Gordon, Gray, and McNeil. And McNeil was awful. Genuinely, he was so bad. Like he doesn't even get on our bench. And our bench is awful at times. I feel like there was lots of good passes to play with Villa. I feel like they got better when they took Coutinho off. When lots of good movement around the box. Danny Ings, unbelievable finish. He looks really good throughout the game. Really, really good. Lots of good movement. Taking up good space, holding defenders off. Lots of good passes. Movement was second to none. Everton, though, also the only positive they've got is that Onana they signed from Lille for 28 million. He looked a player. He come on. He was dictating the game. Looked really, really good. But, with Diego Carlos out, Tyrone Mings is coming back in, who's just been stripped of the captaincy and given to McGinn. I feel like Gerrard or Lampard, one of them will be sacked before Christmas.
Well, do you know what? I was literally about to ask a question to Jose and say, just quickly, Daniel Levy is in the chat. I like it when Daniel Levy's in the chat. Saying at least Savva isn't slagging my integrity off tonight. I hear in my office.
He's in here alone.
Not tonight, Daniel. I will in a minute when we talk about transfers, but you're all right at the moment. I was going to say to you, Jose, before Henry said that, what odds that Lampard and Gerrard both finished the season as their current clubs as the manager?
Look, I haven't got money, but if I had money, I'm telling you that I would put all my money now. One of them that will be the first manager in the Premier League to be sacked. Two managers that are right.
Which one first?
I don't know. I mean, probably most likely be Lampard because I can't see Everton. It's not even a championship team; it's League One team. But I mean, them two is just. I remember
there's another manager as well. Ralph Rangnick will be in that list.
Do you think?
From Southampton, yeah, they're
Ralph Rangnick.
They are poor, yeah.
Not Ralph Rangnick. Ralph
Hasenhüttl.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, they'll be. They will. I know we'll probably touch Southampton, but it's going to be one of those three to be sacked. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the whole game. It was the early kickoff. First half, unfortunately, was boring. A few excited corners from Everton and stuff. Great finish from Danny Ings. That was a proper finish. The way he turned. That was a proper striker. But second half was more excited. But you can't tell, there's a lot of work to do, especially for Everton, right? Because who's going to score for Everton? I think Everton, in different point of view, they are in a mess like Manchester United, if you know what I mean, right? And I think Everton's going to struggle big time. I think I said that, Everton will go down. I said this about, 2 months ago. I don't rate Steven Gerrard. But, I mean, who knows? There's still about 2 weeks left to go. Who they're going to bring in? They know they need a guy who can score goals. Onana come on. He looks really good, The own goal come from him. And then he could have scored twice. He had the chance to score, to draw the game, to score twice. And you can tell how big the player is, that type of Premier League player coming in. That guy is going to win every ball pretty much. And special corners. And that midfield is just going to go back. That's not what Everton wants to change. You know what I mean? Everton has so much work to do.
Well, let's use Everton as the seamless link to now talk about some transfers that have happened and lots of the transfer rumours. So when we talk about these transfers, please in the chat, don't put transfers that happened more than a week ago. We've covered them. Let's talk about two at Everton, one potential incoming and one potential outgoing. Let's talk about the incoming first. Now, you two have both just sat there and said you don't know where the goals are coming from Everton. Everton might reply by saying, hang on, we are trying to buy Brereton Diaz of Blackburn Rovers. Now, Brereton Diaz, 24 goals in his last 40 games. And they showed some stats today on Sky Sports News, and it showed before and after he adopted the Diaz onto the end of his name. And it was really funny. It said before, when he was just Ben Brereton, he scored 1 in 8. Right? Since he's put Ben Brereton Diaz, he's more than quadrupled that goal ratio. Now, a good striker. 24 and 40 is a great record, but we all know taking that jump, he's going to be in a relegation battle from what people are saying about Everton. Jose, let me start with you. Brereton Diaz, is he the man to go to Everton and score the goals to keep them up?
I don't think only him will change because there's a lot still. They need to sign more than just a striker to score goals. But yeah, I mean, I think that would be a good signing for them. I think Diaz is not a bad player. He had a very good start last season in the Championship, absolutely smashing through. And I thought he came to December for, this guy is not going to be playing in the Championship. And then also he played well for Chile. I've watched some of his games as well. He's not actually, how old is he now? He's about, 23, 24, is it?
I'm not sure. You crack on and I'll find out his age.
And I mean, no, don't get me wrong, that would be a good signing for Everton. That would give them a little bit more extra that they haven't got. As we know, they struggle to score goals. Come on, they're in 2 games, yeah? How many clear chances they create, and how many goals they score? Only 1 goal, and that was an own goal.
Are we talking about Ben?
Because I predict 2-0 Villa.
Are we talking about Ben Brereton Diaz? 23. Yeah. He's born in Stoke.
Yes, I thought he was 23, 24.
He's 23. I was just checking tonight's scores to see his age, and I've just seen that Reading have battered them 3-0.
I know, it was 1.5 time.
So, all right, Henry, he's 23. He scored a pot loads of goals, especially at the beginning of last season. Yeah. Then he went away and had a decent tournament with Chile. Came back, had a few injuries, missed a lot of games. I mean, hit me with it. Is this the level Everton are at now? If you're Everton, are you completely underwhelmed, or could this be a stroke of genius?
No, completely underwhelmed. Like, scoring goals in the Championship, scoring them in the Premier League, 2 different things. It's rare like a player like Ivan Toney comes and does it in both. Mitrovic has done it many times, come up, not scored a lot of goals. This season could be a different question. Pukki, the same. Pukki on fire in the Championship, comes to the Premier League, completely flops. Everton need to go out and buy a goal scorer who is scoring goals at a higher level than Everton are playing at. Like, for instance, let's just say, for argument's sake, they go out and sign. I'm not saying they're going to, but in a hypothetical world, they go out and sign a player like Patrick Schick before he signed his contract, who is obliterating goals in Germany and Italy for Leverkusen and Fiorentina. But the thing is, there's outside of like the top 6 strikers in the world, the fall from grace is unbelievable.
It is.
Like the lack of strikers nowadays, proper goal scoring forwards, strikers, there's not a lot at all. No. Like, you've obviously got the top 5, Benzema, Harry Kane, Lewandowski, Mbappe, etc. But then after that, you're thinking, right, who else? Okay, Gabriel Jesus, Richarlison. Who's below that? There isn't anyone. If I was Everton, I'd go 40 million, go and get Ivan Toney.
If you're Ivan Toney, are you leaving Brentford for Everton at the moment?
Money talk.
Look at Connor Cody. He's just left at Wolves as the Wolves captain. I'm going to be honest.
I was shocked with that.
Connor Cody, I actually think is the worst defender at Wolves. I looked at their defence yesterday. Kilman, I think, is a better player. They've got a new young defender is a better player. Bolly, I think, is better. The only thing Connor Cody has in his locker, which is the leadership side of things, and he's playing in a back 2 for Everton. I feel like it's not the same Connor Cody that left, but we'll have to see.
It's going to be interesting. Let's move on from Ben Brereton Diaz. We'll stay with Everton. I mean, guys, this for me is an I told you so moment, but also a sad moment. I remember years ago, I said, I don't rate Dele Alli. And I was told, no, he's brilliant. Look how many goals he scored. And he's the youngest player to do this, do that. And I always said his game wasn't very good. When he wasn't scoring, his actual game wasn't very good. And he didn't run very well. And his technique wasn't very good. And we're now in a position, guys, where Spurs are basically giving him to Everton on a free, essentially. And he's now in a situation where 6 months into his Everton career, they're talking about him possibly going on loan to Besiktas. I mean, Jose, talk to me about this. How has Dele Alli fallen from grace to the point where he was Young Player of the Year 2 years in a row, and now 4 years later, he could be playing in the Turkish league?
I know, strange thing happens, innit? But I mean, Dele Alli, I never he was never played that array, and I thought how you could tell the guy would go and score a goal and had an amazing game, and then mentally he would go down the hill and have a bad run. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's sad to see it. You know, a player that was supposed to have all that talent. You know, like you're saying, to use, you know, young player of the year kind of stuff, but it all go down. We've seen so many players out there with so much talent, but their lifestyle ruin their careers. And Dele Alli, you can tell he's one of them.
Henry, do you agree? Is it his lifestyle? Is it his attitude, or is he just not as good as everyone thought? What do you reckon?
He's got ability, like 20 goals in a season for a midfielder, or let's say centre forward midfielder. Like everyone thought he was going to be the next Frank Lampard. His goals were unbelievable. England debut scores a worldie against France. However, money talks, changed his lifestyle. Not many people know, but Dele Alli had a really tough upbringing. Raised in Milton Keynes, both parents, you know, weren't the best of parents, etc. You can say what you want, but gets his move to MK Dons. Mitchell, the scout, goes and brings him over. Absolute genius signing that was at the time, £5 million. Sets the world alight at Spurs. Give him a massive contract. You know, dressing room falls out. He's streaming Twitter about bloody playing Fortnite and crap. Cares more about his fashion label and girlfriends than he does his sport. Completely washed now. Let's be honest, doesn't even start at Everton.
Right.
How bad they are. Does he even start for Besiktas? Let's be honest. Mesut Ozil was supposed to be the second coming out there. He's about to be released from Fenerbahce. That league is a lot more physical than the Premier League.
He's not in Fenerbahce anymore.
This is going to be
proper challenges. It's not.
This was going to be my next question, Henry. Right? Is if Dele Alli couldn't raise his game, if we're going to call it that, for Jose, he couldn't raise his game for Conte. He's not playing for Lampard for whatever he's doing in training. What motivation is there now for him to go to Turkey? Sorry, you know when you can feel a sneeze coming on, but it's not quite there. What motivation is there going to be in Turkey for him to suddenly turn his career around? Or, guys, is this a sign of that's Dele done from a top-level footballer perspective?
I'll be honest with you. I think he'll retire before 30.
He's what, 27, isn't it? 27,
yeah. 28? He's the same age as me. He's 26. Yeah. I feel like with Dele Alli, he's going to a league which is very, very physical. Turkish people are very passionate. I mean, when Fenerbahce signed, when Trabzonspor signed, who did they signed a player? There was 2 million people prepared to watch him walk out in a shirt. You think Roma is like when Dybala's getting signed? It's another level in Turkey. If he doesn't perform instantly, the crowd will be on him, and he'll, in my opinion, I think he'll flop, and I can see him being released. And who in their right mind right now would take Dele Alli as a free agent? You've got to be bonkers.
The US?
No, I'll be honest with you, man. I feel like he's done now.
Yeah.
Like the only positive about all of this is Tottenham get a 25% sell-on clause for whatever he goes to Turkey for. So at least we get something back. But this guy at one point was one of the hottest prospects in the league.
I've heard
at the age of 22.
I've heard that Everton are using the remaining transfer budget to pay Besiktas to take him. That's how bad
it is. You got Lampard, right? If anyone knows how to score goals from midfield, it's him. If he can't motivate you to go and get 20, 15 goals, because let's be honest, if a fully fit Dele Alli is hungry in that Everton side, he's their best player. But he's not fully fit. He's not hungry, and he doesn't care anymore. Look at footballers nowadays. Jack Wilshere at one point was one of the hottest prospects in England. Yeah. He tore Xavi and Iniesta to bits. He just retired at the age of 30.
Yeah.
30. That's like 23 nowadays.
Yeah, I agree with Harry. I think Dele Alli will end up retire or going to places like MLS and stuff, at least for 1 year, and then he will definitely retire in the next 4 or 5 years easily.
I don't think he's good enough for the MLS. I'll be honest, I don't think he's good enough for that. I watched him come on. He can't even run.
Oh, no.
Like genuinely, Savva, mate, he's finished.
Poor Wayne Holland with a controversial one. We're not going to discuss this. We'll let the chat have a little chat amongst themselves. But he's going to say, I'm going to get pelters here. I saw a tweet from a Spurs fan saying if Son doesn't score, he does nothing all game for Spurs. Can show you tweet if needed. No, I believe you. I'm not going to comment. I get in trouble for talking about Son. Guys, let's move on. I'll let you fight everyone in the chat, Wayne, but keep it respectful, people. Brighton, Jose, they've just signed. I'm going to murder his name. Estepanan.
Yeah, from Villarreal.
15 million. So they've sold Cucurella for 62. Bought him for 15. Brighton's recruitment is excellent for the level they're at, isn't it?
Very good. And Brighton, I will say this, and I think you guys are going to agree with me in that they have one of the best managers in the Premier League. Brighton against Newcastle, they should have beat Newcastle. And I said that when the season finished last season, that if Brighton had the top goal scorer, Brighton would have finished fifth, sixth, or seventh last season. That's just my opinion, what I've watched from a manager, well organized. Look, the players they lost last season. Look at the players they lost, Bizuma and Cucurella. Two of their main players last season. Cucurella was the best player last season. And look at who they got in replace. Caicedo, 20 years old. This guy is going to become, in 2 years, you watch, he's going to be about 65, 100 million. And now...
Not if Man United get him in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know. All it takes is to have a good game against Man United, and they're going to go and buy it and sign you. But yeah, I mean, that's a great sign. I think that's a great... I was shocked when I saw that. You know, I've worked with a lot of Brighton fans. You know, I've told Sav already, I live close to Brighton, and I have so many Brighton fans. And it was like, have you seen who we signed? I said, yeah, I just saw. I was shocked. Why did Villarreal just let this guy gone? But by the way, amazing signing for Brighton. A very good side. A manager who are right. I think Potter, if he doesn't become the next England manager, I don't know who will. Yeah, but I think Potter, the job he's doing at Brighton, wow.
Henry, I mean, I kind of agree there with Jose. I mean, if Brighton just had that bloke that could score 16, 17 goals a season, it would turn so many of their 0-0s, 1-0s into a win. It's such a shame for them that they haven't got that, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, they play really good football. They create lots of chances. If they had a striker, Jose's right, that they'd be right up the table. I feel like Graham Potter is a very underappreciated manager. With the England job, though, it doesn't matter if we had Guardiola, we're cursed. When it comes to trophies, England are cursed. Guardiola, it doesn't matter who you got in there. I feel like Graham Potter, though.
At least you play football.
It's got to come to a point now where a bigger club has got to come in for him. I honestly think, genuinely, if Gerrard gets sacked, they'll go in for Potter. Because Potter with that Villa team, with Danny Ings, Buendia, Coutinho, Leon Bailey, etc., they're forwards. But he's very good at developing defenders. Cucurella, Lamptey. They've also got Ramsey in midfield, Douglas Luiz, McGinn, Digne. Villa have got lots of players that were getting Arsenal and Tottenham side.
They've got some good players.
I agree with Harry.
That team, I reckon they're challenged for Europe under Potter.
Yeah. I agree with Harry about a Villa. It's not like, last season they finished 14th, wasn't it?
Yeah, 14th.
But you look at Villa, right? They actually have some good players. Come on, look. They actually have. You can't tell that's a manager problem, right? You have that kind of players, and you still have a bad season. And it's just like against Everton, you could tell that first half there wasn't any ideas from Steven Gerrard or Lampard. This is a bigger problem. But I agree, Potter. The world needs to recognize this guy. This guy is.
Just before we move on, can we have any guesses as to who Matthew Emerson supports with that sort of comment?
I would say one thing though, Hasenhüttl in Germany was very good under with Hoffenheim. He got him in the Champions League and the Champions League. He nearly got them in the Champions League. Another manager. I feel like, apart from their occasional 9-0 batterings every year, right? Southampton don't have a striker now. Shea Adams, okay. Armstrong, okay. They, apart from, he's going to hate me for saying this. Besides James Ward-Prowse, I don't feel like Southampton have threat now, and I feel like they've got big issues. If they had a forward though, I feel like Southampton create lots of good football. They did well to come back from the 2-0 down against Leeds. They fought really well, and Aribo, I know from Rangers, but I watched them against us, and besides that goal, I'll be honest, they were awful.
They were, weren't they? They were bad. But let's move on. Let's move on. Listen, Matthew, I don't doubt it. I think Hasenhüttl will like what Henry just said. With the players Southampton have, I do think he's doing a good job.
They've just signed. Is it Delap they've just signed?
No, didn't Delap go to Stoke?
Oh, yeah, sorry, he went to Stoke, yeah.
Stoke. The next one is Wolves have just gone out and spent about £80 million in about 4 days. You know, like, for example, when Spurs fans say, there's no money and you can't just go and buy players. And Wolves have just gone bish, bash, bosh. They've brought in, I don't want to shock you guys, they've brought in another Portuguese player. They brought in Nunes from Sporting for 42.5. Can't forget the 0.5. I've only seen him a few times. Looks good. Have you guys seen him? Know a bit more about him than I do?
They're on the verge of bringing in. Is it Gonzalo Guedes as well?
They've got him already, haven't they? From Valencia.
Let's find him about.
I'm 50-50 on him because some games he's excellent, but then other games I'm like, feel like with another thing with Wolves, the same as Brighton and Southampton, there's no firepower. Let's be honest, they've got some of Portugal's best players, Ruben Neves, Juan Martinho, he's like 35, still absolutely class. They've got Sarr. Is it Sarr just signed from? Who have they just? They're about to sign someone from Watford, aren't they?
No. So I was talking about the goalkeeper.
Oh yeah, Sarr. Yeah, great goalkeeper as well. They've got
very good goalkeeper.
Some good players, but I think they'll be better off without Cody. I'm not going to lie to you. But it's the firepower. Who's going to score all their goals? Who's going to be their main goal outlet? They've got Podence. Is it Podence? Neto. I take Neto in a heartbeat. He's a great player as well. But they're all moments players. Like Podence, when he played Leeds, he did a little Maradona twirl and absolutely sliced the two Leeds players in half. But consistency. That the best player they had in recent years for me was who's the guy who joined Liverpool?
Diego Jota.
Diego Jota was class, and he went to Liverpool and he's excelled. I feel like a lot of them Wolves players, they need to this season. They've got to step up.
Yeah. I mean, Jose, do you know a lot about Nunes? What type of player can we expect, and what should Spurs be worried about at the weekend if he's registered in time?
No, good player, very good midfield. Apparently, Liverpool, and from what I've read, and I get very good sources about, players, transfer and stuff. Liverpool showed a lot of interest on him, and but apparently his agent told him to sign for Wolves, but Liverpool was after him. That was the midfield since the transfer window that Liverpool was after. Yeah, very good player, young. It's like box-to-box player. He's a player like he's going to be everywhere. At the weekend I was watching them at home. You should see the goal he scored. Yeah, very good player. And the other player, Guedes, who comes from Valencia. I mean, he's a player that his work rate is amazing. He's a player who will run, but it's just as up and down. It's like Harry says, with a lot of Wolves player, there's not that constant in there. And I think because they haven't got that top goal scorer, that killing there, they might struggle because of that. Look at Jimenez, since he got injured in the head. Don't get me wrong, I used to rate Jimenez a lot. When he was at Benfica, when he first joined Wolves, Jimenez was top, good player. But then, since he got that injury in the head, honestly, he just went, and you could tell that how much Wolves miss Jimenez goals last season.
Yeah. I mean, I always feel that when Wolves buy these players, every player they buy is very comfortable on the ball. Do you know what I mean? They're all technically brilliant.
You guys don't like Nunes.
It's they always play nice football, good interchange. again, it's like you said, like with Brighton, like with Southampton, it's who's putting the ball in the net. But let's move on. The next signing, kind of under the radar, 11 million. Man City have signed Gomez from Anderlecht, who's a left back. And he's from another one from the Barcelona Academy. Pep said earlier this week that he's been watching him for a couple of years and that he is everything he would expect from a Barcelona graduate. And if Pep's saying that, then,
hidden gem, isn't it? It's another hidden gem. They do this, Man City. That when I talk about footballing recruitment departments and scouts and director of footballs and chief of footballs, etc., Man City have the best footballing network in the world.
Yeah, they used to be at Barcelona. You know that.
Yeah. When I think it wasn't Rijkaard when they were there. It was when it was just after Pep left Barca. They are kind of all separated. The scouts there. Man City, since Pep has come in, the only player that has gone tits up is Mendy, and that is purely because of outside of football reasons. But Man City do not sign bad footballers. And if this guy, as highly rated as he is, slot straight in at left back, back up for Cancelo, Ake can come there. If not, Man City have just don't make bad errors. They don't make errors. Look at Alvarez, absolute monster in Argentina. No one knew who he was. Man City pick him up, and then he scores against Liverpool in the cup, doesn't he? He looks a great player. Yeah, movement. He's moving.
I think
Man City.
The thing is,
he's at as well.
Pep only signs players who are exceptionally comfortable on the football, and this is what I think a lot of other clubs don't. You can buy players like, I'm just trying to think of if Spurs are, you can buy a player like a Højbjerg, like a Dyer, right? That's fine and all heart, but Pep wants that with the ability with the feet, because to play that quick one-touch football, you have to be very good.
Savva, just quickly on Pep, who do you in our team? Look at Tottenham's 11, right? Our team. I personally think the only player that really would excel at Man City would be Bissouma. Like the way they play, do you not feel that he's comfortable on the ball? He's press resistant. He can play that style of football. I feel like if they didn't have Rodri, Man City would have gone in and got Bissouma. Like, actually look at their personnel. Defenders, we got no chance.
Probably would do.
Possibly. I mean, I don't look at anyone in the Spurs team that is comfortable enough on the ball at pace to zip it about. However, it's difficult because if you don't play that tactic, we'll never know. Some players you look at and you go, yeah, you could never do that. But
it's like what Potter did. It's a similar style, fast pace, pass and move to Guardiola. I'm not saying it's like win the ball back in 10 seconds. But when Bissouma was at Brighton, he was very much like the Guardiola style. That makes sense.
We'll come back to Gomez. We'll come back to Gomez in 1 second. Phil P, thank you very much with the super chat. Has said question, and guys, not a detailed answer, just a quick answer from you guys. Which Wolves player has the highest ceiling?
Neto.
Talent, very good player.
I'd say Neto.
Yeah, definitely. I think if Moutinho was 20, Moutinho is what, 35 now, isn't it? I know he's injured, but I think if Moutinho was at the time he was at Porto, maybe like 28, 29, I would say Moutinho, because I love Moutinho. But yeah, I would say Neto. Neto that's because we're talking about Wolves, right? All these players are signed, right? What it makes me wonder sometimes, I discuss this with Savva sometimes, is that I've seen clubs like Spurs, right? And Arsenal, seeing like Wolves, whoever, and West Ham signing this kind of players, right? Would you not love to have them in Spurs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonder why you don't go and get this player? Why you let teams like Wolves and stuff get, and you've got bigger goals? You're in the Champions League. It just does not make sense for me. As a football fan, when I see that,
I agree. For me, I always feel that Spurs don't sign enough players that are ever technically very good. Now, before people go, no, yeah, but do you know what I mean? I mean, like when Wolves go and get a Ruben Neves, who you just see it when the ball is at his feet, he's just super comfortable. You know, Coutinho, Podence, Neto, these players that are just, the ball is glued to their feet. Now, we go for a different type of player, but every now and then, I do look at other clubs scouting and think, why have we never gone in for any of these types of players? But I don't want to get sidetracked. Henry, what I was going to say, Gomez, what I did see was last year, and we can say it was only Anderlecht, but you can only play in the league you're in. He got 18 goal contributions from left back playing for Anderlecht. Now, what's frightening about that is if you now stick him into a Pep way of playing with Man City, I mean, I've got a feeling that's going to be a gem, that one, lads.
Yeah, I agree. So, sorry, just quickly, the news that come out about Romero earlier is actually false, and he's going to be back in training in 8 to 10 days. He's not going to be out for 4 weeks. That's absolute BS.
Who said 4 weeks?
Alistair Gold, our most reliable source in the Tottenham world.
No, 2 weeks. It might be up to 2 weeks, but not 4 weeks. There's no way.
Loads of sources say he's going to be back by the West Ham game.
Sorry, let me just finish with Gomes quickly. He's a player who obviously comes from Barcelona Academy. We know Guardiola does not sign shit players, let's say that. And he was close to sign for Barca last season. Money problems with La Liga, and he was close to sign for Barca. And he was supposed to be basically Jordi Alba's backup. But yeah, very good. He's going to be good. I know they got Juan Cancelo, who's technically is a right back, but that guy as a left back, for me at the minute, is the best left back in the world.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's move on to the next player. Before I do, there are 152 of you in the chat, so thank you very much. Everyone's been very nice and polite in the chat. Some good debates going on that I'm reading. Please do smash that like button. Let's smash that like button. We are currently at 115 likes. So if the rest of you that haven't liked it, please can. Also, guys, come on. I am 3 subscribers away from the 1,700 mark. Subscribe to Football Ferreira. Subscribe to Henry TV. Come on, guys. You know it makes sense. We put a lot of time and effort into these shows. Just hit that button. Guys, the next one was one that was completed today. Was Kera from PSG to West Ham at £10 million. I'll be honest, I've not seen a lot of him. The West Ham fans are going nuts because, you know, as you would. 10 million. Talk to me. Is 10 million good for this guy? Is he any good?
Good for West Ham. Deadwood at PSG. Young, quick, tall, hungry centre back.
Also play multiple positions as well.
Yeah, play for. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's the only good thing about him, because I saw Paris Saint-Germain quite a lot because of Messi last season. Otherwise, I wouldn't much. Is the fact he plays multiple positions. I think he's going to be very good signing for West Ham.
It's just
at West Ham. What sort of centre back is he? All right, guys, I'll be honest. I've not really seen him that I can recall. Is he
comfortable on the ball? Comfortable on the ball. Not really aerial. Not dominant in the air. I'll butcher that. Yeah, he's not dominant in the air. One thing he will add to their backline is composure. Yes. West Ham don't have a composed centre back. Ogbonna knees have gone. They've just got rid of Diop. Zuma is just kind of very rash. Get in, win the ball, get out. He's very composed. He's like he reminds me a lot of Lenglet. Lenglet on the ball is very composed for a centre back.
So are we saying that this guy would partner Zuma and they'd be the yin and yang?
Well, West Ham apparently looking at playing a back 3 now. So I can imagine it'd be their new centre back they've brought in that's injured. I can't remember what his name is now.
The one come from Rennes, the Morocco.
Yeah, he'll be there. Zuma in the middle, and the how do you say his name? On the right. If not, it'll be a back 2. Either Zuma will be on the starting sheet, and it'll be them 2 rotating. But it's options for West Ham, but it's not what West Ham need. West Ham need firepower. Defensively, they're not the worst team. Firepower. I mean, they haven't scored a goal yet. 2 games in, and they've got their bogey team at the weekend, Brighton, who are a team in form. You know.
I know that's going to be very interesting to watch.
The funny thing is when you look at transfer windows, most clubs, what you always hear, isn't it, lads, is everyone wants a centre back and everyone wants a centre forward, right? And the problem is, as Henry alluded to earlier in the show, that pool of talent to choose from in both of those areas does seem to be pretty it's slim pickings. But I mean, West Ham, they're a funny team. I've got lots of West Ham mates, and they made me wear a West Ham shirt on my stag do, so I hate them for that. But I mean, look, they've bought in Scamacca, they've bought in Kera, they've bought in the centre half who's injured. Apparently, he's very good.
He's from Morocco, he's from Rennes. Good defender, had a good season with Rennes last season. But I think that's going to be a good signing for West Ham, because West Ham haven't got that type of defender. And like I said, he can play multi-positions. And like Harry said, if they go back to line, if they're going to play with 3 at the back, 5, like we said, 5, I think he's going to be very good for them. He's a quick defender, very good on the ball and stuff, something that they haven't got. All they go is like all them beasts out there just trying to like shoot a ball and stuff. But yeah, I mean, he's a good signing.
They've also signed Cornet as well from Burnley. West Ham's main issue is they've got to bring a left back in before the end of the season. They have to bring foot in the window, because they've got one left back in their team, that's Aaron Cresswell, and he is finished. Let's be honest.
I know. Do you know the funny thing is, every West Ham fan that I know know far too many, by the way. And my best man at my wedding is a West Ham fan. I'll tell you what, I've got it right here because it's just been washed. They made me wear this. For anyone who hasn't seen this, they made me wear this.
I know. I saw in a picture on Instagram.
They made me wear this.
And then you expect not to be called negative.
Listen, I'm no fun on a night out, remember. So the one thing that all my West Ham mates say to me is that David Moyes always takes ages to bed players in. So like they were all wanting to see Scamacca straight in, right? They wanted to see Cornet straight in. It hasn't happened. Maybe this game against Brighton, are we going to see Scamacca, see Cornet, see a different way of playing from West Ham?
Scamacca will play tomorrow and Antonio will play Sunday. Because they've got
that
as well.
They've got a Conference League qualifier game.
Yeah.
I don't do Thursdays anymore, Henry.
You wait. We'll probably be knocked out into the Europa League and we will be doing Thursdays.
Remind me of that when in December we're playing Thursday nights, or well, not the World Cup in January.
I'll be honest, just one last thing on West Ham. I know we've got to move on very quickly, but West Ham are in trouble. I'll be honest. Declan Rice has been awful so first 2 games. My boy Jared Bowen has been awful as well. I feel like they're in a transitional period now, because they've got to keep.
Do you want me to remove this and put Bowen on and send it over to you?
I like certain players from certain teams.
Give him for Christmas or for his birthday.
I'll tell you what though, like what West Ham, they'll probably lose against Brighton and maybe lose the next game, but you can bet everything you've got they will turn up against Spurs.
Well, that's always the worry. I mean, look, let's move on. We've got a few more players, and then for the last half an hour, we're going to talk about the weekend's games, and then we'll be done by 11 o'clock. Thank you, everyone in the chat. If you do have any questions for us, please put them in the chat. I might not necessarily read them in the order they come. I might star them and read them a bit later. But please do hit the like button, subscribe to Football Ferreira, Henry Wright TV, Savva Talk Spurs, and let's grow this channel. Let's grow everyone's channels, and we'll do this show every Wednesday after the Champions League game finishes. This one, I believe, has been a bid turned down, but they're going back in. This is João Pedro of Watford and Newcastle. Now, when I've seen him, he looks good. He's only 20, I believe.
Good player.
Yeah.
Looks exciting and could be a good option for Newcastle, who already have... Look, they've got the big man option with Wood. They've got the goal scorer with Wilson. This guy's
doing the right thing, though, aren't they? Because it's not enough for Newcastle. Watford, I don't think Watford will come back up now. I think Sar's joining. Is it Palace?
Mm-hmm.
Or, Dennis has just joined Brighton.
Are you ruining my next thing? Is that what you're doing here?
No, we're just talking about the club, but like genuinely, they could be in serious bother. I mean, I watched them the other night when they drew to West Brom. They looked good in certain times of it, but genuinely, Watford now have lost their front line, which, let's be honest, is probably Premier League level.
Well, yeah, let's group them in together. Pedro will end up at Newcastle because it's so low. They'll keep chipping away with 1 or 2 million. And Dennis has gone from Watford to be Forest's 25th signing of the window.
How many players have Nottingham Forest signed?
I think it's 16.
I think it's about 14. Is it 16?
Yeah, they've got eight. I think they went eight players went out that they had on. They had 7 players on loan.
Yeah,
from last season. They've gone back to their respective clubs. They've got rid of 5 players, and I think they've brought in 15 or 16.
Yeah, I was checking that this morning, and but let's be honest, they actually signed some good players. Not Lingard, but everyone else is good.
Well, on that, one of the names on my list is a player that I've seen play a lot, and I really like him as a midfielder. Freuler has gone from Atalanta to Forest for 7 million.
I know,
absolute steal.
That's a bargain, right?
Bargain, yeah.
Because the way Atalanta play football, they're for anyone who hasn't seen Atalanta, they're a very good passing, technical football team. So
there's another player at Atalanta as well, linked away to many, many clubs, and I will touch on later. But Atalanta are kind of like the underdog in Italy, aren't they?
They are
not really one. They're like see what they are. They're like Spurs in Italy, because
you guys
Atalanta don't win trophies, have good players, but they're kind of like Spurs in a way.
No, they're better than Spurs. Sorry, but
they play better football.
Yeah, I mean, no, I agree. You know, Atalanta plays a beautiful kind of football, and look at last season. They struggled because of losing players. Like they lost Romero, and they had so many injuries. We saw Zapata get injured. We saw everyone get injured. But 2 years ago, when they score, they qualified for the Champions League and they finished 3rd in the league. When they scored, I think it was 90, Harry, I think it was 91 goals in the league.
Yeah, it was the year before. Liverpool, obscene.
Honestly, that's when I go in love with them. Honestly, that season was something else. Every week, and you know, you're going to bet Atalanta to score 3+ goals, guarantee easy money.
Yeah, they're a good team. Unfortunately, teams like that, they slowly but surely get picked apart. Their players, don't they? The better players get picked apart.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about who you want to talk about in a few minutes, Henry. I know who you want to talk about. We will. We've got 1 more incoming and 2 more outgoings. The outgoings will be grouped together, but the incoming, Kostic, Juventus, £10 million.
Euros.
That makes it works
out. I think it works out £8.8 million. Absolute. That for me is one of the best deals of the win of all the win, like Italian window. Yeah, that is an absolute steal.
Yeah,
an absolute 100 and I think it's 108 goal contributions from wing back in the last 5 years. That is ridiculous, absolutely obscene. And Juventus, do you know what the most exciting race for the title in the league is going to be in Italy? Because you've got AC, Inter, Napoli will be up there, Jose's Roma, and now Juventus.
I like the Italian league.
It's going to be very exciting this year. Yeah, but what a sign that was for Juve, right? I've watched this guy. You know, Savva knows. I'm not sure about Harry. I support Barcelona, right? And last season in Europa League, his 2 games against Barcelona, I was thinking for myself, I was like, look, this player next season is not going to be... I've watched him before, but not much. But then I look and I said, this guy is not going to be at Frankfurt next season. What a signing that is. And you look, one player, once again, what clubs like Spurs doing, clubs like Arsenal doing. I mean, I just do not care how these clubs, this Premier League, every player dreams of playing in the Premier League. As long as the Premier League teams put in money, that's it. They go and get anyone if they want to. But it makes you wonder, come on. What about
it makes me wonder when Spurs are spending 12.5 million on Jed Spence, but we didn't want to pay 8.8 million euros for. Can you imagine, right? Kostic left wing back, Perisic right wing back. Right now you're starting to look a bit tasty. But look, I don't want to go down that route. The last 2, actually, there's a few more after this. The 2 I want to group together is Ndombele and Lo Celso have both gone out on loan. Ndombele passed the fitness test, lads. He did. So if everyone wants to, huge sigh of relief. Is this good for Spurs? It's two players that cost us over £100 million, and we've got £1 million back between both of them to go out and loan. I mean, does that just show how bad they are, or that no one rates them enough to slap down what Daniel Levy wants? What's the
issue on it is because they're on such high salaries, no club can match them pound for pound with their wages. So the only way for us to get rid of them is a loan deal. So I think Napoli are going to pay 35% of the wages of £200,000 a week on Ndombele, which is absolutely obscene. But the one that shocked me is Lo Celso. Whether lots of people are going to disagree, but whether we like to agree or not, there clearly is a player in there, because Unai Emery is not a stupid manager, and he played well in parts for Villarreal last year.
Henry, do you like Unai Emery?
I mean, you never would have guessed. My money's on Villarreal to win the Conference League, by the way, just saying.
Would your dream, Henry, be for Unai Emery to sign Jared Bowen, and then you've got both your boyfriends in one team?
I'll tell you what, if Conte went tomorrow, he'd be the first man I'd get to replace.
I know.
He might not have the charisma, the persona of Conte, but he's 4 Europa Leagues. It's ridiculous. And he beat Conte, by the way, in the final. Just saying. With Lo Celso, it's crazy to me that there isn't a buy option included in that deal. With Ndombele, there's a 30 million buy option if he plays well. And I think every 10 performances that he plays in any competition, there'll be a payout from Napoli to Tottenham. But you're not going to like what I'm going to say, Savva, but you've got to give Conte, Paratici some credit for trying to get rid of our deadwood. Before that, the players would have just sat there. Valencia now are apparently final stages to sign Bryan Hill on loan.
Bryan Hill wouldn't leave Spurs.
Sorry?
I thought Bryan Hill wouldn't leave Spurs.
No, on loan.
He's going out on loan.
He's going
but
on
Henry,
you've got to give him some
I don't know.
credit.
I've got a feeling Conte likes him.
No, I can't see that. Look, let's call this for what it is. I've just seen on Sky Sports News as well, when they were doing their roundup, that apparently there's a number of Italian and Spanish clubs inquiring about taking Harry Winks on loan. Now, if that happens, you're going to have Winks, Hill, Rodon, Ndombele, Lo Celso all out on loan, right? And possibly Tanganga.
Maybe Tanganga, yeah.
Maybe Tanganga. Now, that's great, but as I said to someone the other day, all you've done there is you've kicked the can down the road a year. And what will happen is next year, our whole transfer window is again going to be, right, how do we get these same bits of deadwood out?
I hear what you're saying, but then on the flip side, would you rather them go out on loan and be up to them to perform to get that sell-on clause valid, or sit and rot in the under-23s? And I'm not being a yes man. I'm not being the other side of Tottenham fans that we dislike, but I give Paratici some credit because at least he's trying. Daniel Levy, Daniel Levy would have never signed a player like Perisic before.
No, look, I hear that. I just feel that it's all well and good, but as I said to someone the other day,
at the same time, isn't it?
It's out of sight, out of mind. But the problem is the opposite to out of sight, out of mind is they're now in sight and now in mind again. And next year it's going to be, right, where do they go now? How much money does Levy want for them now that no one's going to pay? And do you know what I mean? So I'm frustrated that he's not been able to get rid of many. Just quickly, before we move on to our predictions for the weekend, 3 players that United are heavily linked with. I mean, I know they've been heavily linked with everyone. 4, actually. Rabiot seems to be a dead deal. Pulisic seems to be in there. Casado of Brighton. And they said tonight that the Anthony deal is apparently being resurrected. Now, I can almost see that Man United will pay ridiculous money to get Anthony because they need to do something.
You know what it is? Jadon Sancho 2.0, that will be. Great player. Yeah. Man, I mean, they can't get rid of the Budweiser Jack Clark. They're trying to sign him from Chelsea and Pulisic, right? The Budweiser Jack Clark. To be finished. Pulisic is finished, needs to go back to Germany. He had a good when Arsenal won the FA Cup. That season, he was great for Chelsea. It's been awful since. Injuries, I think he's had 12 injuries in the last 18 months. Injury prone. I mean, Man United, if you're a United fan right now, your heart has got to be broken. If you genuinely, you have got to be in absolute bits. Yeah. See that you've gone from watching, the legends that clubs have had, arguably some of the best players in the Premier League have mainly come out of playing for United. And now you're looking at getting Pulisic from Chelsea. You're looking at getting Arnautovic at one point, Rabiot. I mean, we've got a better recruitment policy than them.
100%.
Steady on. Just quickly, Jose, just quickly before I come to you. Right, I'm going to ask nicely. I just need 3 people in the chat to subscribe to me for me to hit my target for tonight. Just 3 of you. And I don't believe that you all have. Come on, let's make that happen. Sorry, Jose, off you go, mate.
No, I was just finish off what Harry was saying. I said at the beginning of the show when he was talking about Manchester United, I said that, look, stop going after these players. May as well save your money, just keep what you got, and that's it. I just think it's ridiculous. But apparently they put a bid with 140, if I'm not wrong, 145 million euros for João Felix, and was rejected by Atletico Madrid.
That's just absolutely obscene.
Yeah, that's what they're going to do. They're just going to go out there and try to buy back. I know, if you're going to go and get Pulisic and stuff, please save your money.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So the last player I want to talk about, which is it's a big one. Before we move on to the predictions, is Serge Milinkovic-Savic of Lazio. Now, guys, I want to have a little vent. If you'll allow me the floor for 30 seconds to vent.
Of course.
I like to think I've got a bit of a grasp on football. Having all my coaching qualifications, worked for a Premier League club, I played to a decent level. And, I study the game a lot. And the reason I say that is, for me, I'm looking at Milinkovic-Savic and going, wow, imagine that bloke in Spurs midfield. He'd be our best midfielder. Wow, wow, wow. Done a few videos about it today on YouTube, put something out on Instagram. Here's a selection of the comments I've had from Spurs fans about this guy. Are you ready? I've written them down, preparing for this very moment in life. I've had here, would he join us though, knowing that he might be on the bench a lot? Why would he join when he wouldn't be our best midfielder? Yeah. He plays for a free at Lazio. Why would he come to a team that play a double pivot? Yeah. Could he handle the Premier League? Now, I just don't understand how any human being that has watched Serge Milinkovic-Savic can't see that not only does he walk into our midfield, he's the best midfielder we would have and probably one of the top 3 players in the whole club. This guy's got it all, right? He can sit and hold. He can attack. He scores. He got 22 goal contributions last season.
Mm-hmm. Can I say something? Can I say something? If people think Moussa Dembele was good, and I know someone just mentioned it in the chat, Serge Milinkovic-Savic is an unbelievable player. What is one thing we lack, Savva, in our midfield?
Mm-hmm.
Goals and creativity. Well, there's your answer. And he's available apparently for 60 million euros.
I know.
It's an absolute steal. With Lo Celso and Ndombele off the wage bill now.
Yeah.
There's no excuse not to bring him in.
Exactly.
It's mad. I mean, Jose, talk to me. Am I over egging him, or are these fans that clearly have not watched him play?
These fans clearly haven't watched him play. I've spoke to you. We've spoke about Savage lots of times. Something that you haven't got, and something that would bring you so much. Look, a guy who assists, scores, fights, I mean, he's strong, he's tall. The guy is so good in the air. Corners, he will be in there. Free kicks, he will be up there. He will go in there and defend you. He would go in there and put pressure. I mean, he's just like, he's a great player. I just don't think that people watch football.
It is worrying,
why
isn't it?
is Savic still at Lazio? Something that I don't get. I've been watching this guy for so long now, and every year I think, he's going to leave Lazio. And once again, I mean, the guy, it just seems like, I don't know, he's in love with Lazio because, there's clubs out there, they don't do enough to go and buy this guy. Come on, surely we need to see this guy in the Premier League or in other club, apart from being in Lazio. I'm just getting bored now seeing a quality player like this playing for Lazio. All the respect for Lazio, but I'm just bored. I need to see this kind of players playing in a bigger club.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a no-brainer for me. I think, as Henry said, it ticks all the boxes. He scores, he creates, he can defend. He's got a great engine on him. He's experienced at international level as well. And then I've got fans. I was having this chat with this one bloke. I won't say his name, but his comment to me every time was, he can't play a double pivot. Why would he come here and sit on the bench? And I'm like, wow. Just it just baffles me. And then you get the fans saying, it's a lot of money, like it's their money. Like, I don't care, right? It's the club's money.
Yeah, it's bonkers, mate. It's absolutely bonkers.
Yeah, just to finish off, and you as a Spurs fans, if you know that Spurs is going to sign Savic, that's going to make you excited. And being a football fan is about being excited about your club, right? When your club signs a top quality player like this, right? This is how I see it, right?
Yeah, I'm on the same wavelength as you, mate. What do you guys make of another midfielder we're looking at?
Man.
Wand of a left foot. Absolute wand of a left foot.
I love the shot. Very good play. Another one. Do you know, I text Savva and I said, right, Ruslan is, because I can't really pronounce his second name, sorry, Malinowski or something like that. But Ruslan is that kind of player. Like I said, like the season 2 years ago at Atalanta, right? He had, I think, was, if I'm not wrong, in all competitions, I think he scored around over 10 goals. And have I don't know how many assists, but he's that kind of player that will have the ball. When he's about to have a shot, everyone's going to get excited. Everyone's going to stand up in the stadium and ready to scream. He's that kind of player. He's going to make every fan to scream every time he have the ball because they know he's ready. Something's coming. And he's a core player. I think you guys should go. And like Harry said, there's no reason. If you go and get money from Lo Celso, Nombale and stuff, it's time. There's no reasons now. You need to go in there because
we're trying to bring a midfielder in, aren't we? We're trying to bring a midfielder before the end of the window. Out of the two, I'd rather go Milinkovic-Savic, but I wouldn't be disappointed if we brought him in.
I agree. Yeah, but I mean, like I said, it's time now. It's time to go because your transfer window, in my opinion, just me as a football fan, hasn't been great. Just because, you're in a Champions League, you want to be a top club, you want to try and get close to top 2, wherever. You have lots of goals. You've got Conte now, but you haven't done enough. That's just my opinion. You haven't bought that quality top players like a club like Spurs deserve. An amazing stadium, and you're going down and buy players to send back on loan, players for the future. Do you want to win in 3 years or do you want to win now? This is why.
This is it.
This is the big thing about Spurs, isn't it? Is, you can hear from so many people that say, have patience. It's a project we're building for the future. But the one argument will always be, and I think, Henry, you know what I'm going to say here. The one argument will always be about this whole patience thing, about let's see where we are in 3 or 4 years. And when a Doji comes good and Spence comes good and Skip and Devine and Scarlett. Problem is, in that time, Kane and Son are no longer with us. Kane and Son are older men. And surely the winning men, the whole kind of winning streak needs to be built around them, not with replacing them. Because when it comes to the point that we have to replace both Kane and Son. Can you guys imagine Spurs replacing those two?
It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen.
I just can't. It's going to be. Look, they're not spring chicken. I'm not saying they're old, but they're in their peak. This is the time, and this is why when Spurs fans tell me, "Oh, well, slowly, patience." But look, guys, I don't want to get into a Spurs debate. What I would like to do is get your predictions for the weekend. So please let us know your predictions as well in the chat. And I am 1 subscriber away. Come on, you tight people. 1 subscriber away from my target from tonight. And subscribe to Football Ferreira and Henry Wright TV.
I'm on the way to 1,000. I think was 20 short, I think.
Get this man to the 1,000. Come on, people.
14 away. 14 away.
We're all the football family, right? We're all a football family. We're all here putting stuff together for each other. Let's help each other out in life, eh? So let me start with you, Henry. Let's keep these brief as well, because I do need my bed at some point a bit later. But the first game I've written down is actually Spurs versus Wolves. It's at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which I will call White Hart Lane forever. Henry, what are you saying? Prediction, and with Romero being out, does it change anything for you?
Prediction 3-0. I'll be honest. I know Wolves have signed got good players, but Kane and Son haven't had a good game yet this season. Well, Kane obviously, I don't want to say they haven't had a good game, but Kane and Son haven't dominated a game yet this season. I feel like Wolves, I've said it all along, I don't think they have the firepower yet. I do rate their goalkeeper though. He's a good keeper, but I'll be honest. I think it'll be 3-0. I think Kane will get 2 and Son will get 1. It'd be interesting though, because I personally think Richarlison needs to get a game, right? With £60 million, and you mentioned something earlier, and I couldn't agree more. On one of your videos, it's not dropping players. It's rotating players. And I feel like maybe Kulu could come on in the second half and give Richarlison maybe 60 minutes. The
point I was making on that, for anyone in the chat, there's 150 of you in the chat, so whoever didn't hear this or see my video earlier, it was what made me laugh. And again, this is coming from someone that didn't want to buy Richarlison. So now figure this out. This is someone that didn't want to buy him, but he's now here. My point was, I just asked the question, should Richarlison get a game at the weekend, considering how bad our forwards were in the last 2 games, other than Kulu against Southampton? I said, surely that's the point of buying in a £60 million striker. That's somebody doesn't play well. You go, okay, go on, you go in and give that person a kick out the backside. Our fans, all of a sudden, the ones that were having a go at me for not wanting Richarlison are now saying, hey, he can't start. Who do you drop? And I'm saying, well, no, it's not dropping. It's rotating. It's what Man City do. They don't play the same front three every game. But our
would
fans...
Would you play Richarlison at the weekend? Would you start him?
I'd give him a game. Well, otherwise, Henry, if you're going to spend 60 million on a player that's not going to start games, buy a cheap player in that area. Buy a young striker for 10, 15 million.
So who would you rotate out of the 11?
Hang on. Let me finish. Hang on. And spend that 60 million at centre-back or right wing-back where it's needed. Who would I take out? I think all 3 of them were absolutely shocking against Chelsea. I don't think it matters. I would just take one of them out and say, you're just going on the bench. When I bring you on in the second half, show me I shouldn't have dropped you. I don't think
even against Southampton as well, Kane and Son was very poor.
I feel like the one that you have to have on that front line at every game is Kane, purely because everything goes through him. I feel like if Richarlison plays there, we'll have a lot of pace on the counter with Kulu, Richarlison and Son, but I feel like it's going to have to be, personally, I'd rotate Kulu. I think
I mean, look, I just feel that you've got a £60 million player. How damaging is it to him? How many games do you go into it without starting him before it becomes, well, hang on, I'm not wanted here at this club? Do you know what I mean?
I agree as well, yeah.
We're only 2 games in. I'm just saying, There's nothing wrong with saying you were poor. You come in, go and show me why you should be playing, and you on the bench, you show me why I shouldn't have rotated you when you get on the pitch. 3-0. Jose, what score are you going for? Spurs versus Wolves at Spurs.
3-1.
3-1.
Yeah, I got 3-1 Spurs.
3-1. Is there any way either of you can see Wolves winning this?
No, unfortunately, they haven't got. Like we've been saying, Wolves haven't got that power to score goals and stuff. I mean, they haven't been brilliant. Look, 2 games, they draw. Lost to Leeds 2-1 and draw against Fulham. And they don't look good at the minute. I know you didn't look good against Chelsea, but come on. You're not Son and Kane soon. And this is the perfect games. They're going to go in there and bang 2 or 3 goals. And they know they need.
I feel like for our title race, Savva, I feel like we've got to go and win this game.
Oh, listen, my point is it shouldn't matter which 3 play up front. Of those 4, we're going to beat Wolves at home. And if we don't, then we can't be telling people we're in a title race or a challenge. I've also said I think 3-0. That was before Romero got injured. I just
we still got Virgil van Dijk. We've still got Virgil van Dijk, so he's
Virgil van Dijk, Davis, and I mean, is Longley still injured?
They're talking about because Sanchez is still injured. So
I'll make sure right now my prediction because I was supposed to do a live.
I think it's going to be the back 3 is going to be Dyer through the middle, Davis right centre back, Langley left centre back.
I mean, I just worry. Romero's such a rock in there. I'm going to change.
It's an opportunity though. It's an opportunity though for Langley to come in. So like for him, it's now what can you bring to the table?
Do you know? You guys might be shocked, right? But I do rate Langley. I don't know why. I know he was a Barca, but I don't think he's that bad. I think he's.
I don't dislike Langley. I don't dislike him. I just don't feel that for what Spurs needed at the back, which was a warrior, someone in the middle that can.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I do get you. And remember when you signed him, we had a chat on Instagram, and I said, look, Lenga, and you will remember this. Langley is going to be that type of player that you need to rotate, right? And he will be that good rotate you will have. I did say that to you when Spurs signed. And I think, he's not a bad player. 3-1. Where you going, Savva? 3-1 as well, yeah?
I was going to go 3-0, but with Romero out, I just worry so much about that awful back 5. I'm going to go 2-1 Spurs. I'm going 2-1 Spurs. Honestly, Romero is such a rock, and I don't rate the others. Especially as whoever plays at right wing back is going to be absolutely pants as well. Let's move on. Let's rattle through these quickly. Everton versus Nottingham Forest at Goodison.
Oh my god!
Nottingham Forest have confidence beating West Ham.
I've lost 2 subscribers in the last minute from. I think it was because of what I just said. I've just lost 2 subscribers.
We'll subscribe back.
I'm going to go. Everton 1, Nottingham Forest 1.
1-1, yeah.
I feel like Lampard it needs a win desperately, and Forest will be buzzing going off of beating West Ham. I'm not sure if Dennis starts, I'll back a Forest win. If he doesn't, I'm going to go 1-1.
Okay, Joseph.
Yeah, I'm going for 1-0 as well.
1-0. Okay. I'm going to go with I think Forest are going to win 2-0.
I predict every draw. Week 2, Premier League, I predict every draw, Last week, I predict every draw.
I just feel that Forest, their tails are up. Everton looks shocking. I'm going to go with 2-0. Sorry, guys.
What, for Forest?
For Forest, yeah. I'm going to go 2-0 Forest. Leicester at home to Southampton.
Leicester 2, Southampton 1.
That's what I've gone for.
I think Maddison for a brace. I feel Southampton will score from a free kick from obviously James Ward-Prowse. I thought Southampton are in bother, big trouble. If they don't sign a striker, they're going down. Genuinely, I think they will go down if they don't sign a striker. It'll be them or Everton to go down. I think Leicester will get the win.
I'm going 2-0 for Leicester.
Yeah. No, none of us giving Southampton any chance. 3 more subscribers I need now after people dropping. Come on. Let me finish this show on a high. Come on. Leeds, this dirty Leeds versus Chelsea at Elland Road.
Do you know who the referee is?
No.
It's the same referee that refereed against Tottenham Chelsea, the referee that Chelsea despise. I'm going to go Leeds 1, Chelsea 2.
Okay. Jose?
Yeah, that's where I'm going as well. 2-1 Leeds. 2-1 Chelsea, sorry. Let me just say something about Leeds. I think Leeds, because I've heard a lot of people, pretty much slagging Leeds off. But I think Leeds signed some young players, good players. I rate their manager, and I think Leeds easily going to be saved this season. I think they're going to do okay.
I said, when we first did the show, I said to Savva that I feel like Leeds going to have a really good season. And he was a bit on the fence
I said
with what I was saying, but I feel like they will. They'll have a good season.
I'm going to go 2-0 Chelsea. I am. I just don't know if Leeds have got the firepower. I'm not saying Chelsea have got amazing firepower, but I feel like if they play anywhere near like they played against us, I think they'll win it easily.
Tuchel's not in the dugout either.
No. Yeah, but listen, I feel like when you get to that level of football, and they've been on the training ground all week with Tuchel. These are pros. They know what they're doing. It's not going to change it drastically for me. The halfway game, Newcastle at home versus Manchester City.
Wow.
Manchester City, Newcastle 0, Man City 2. Hard game.
Yeah, it's going to be a very hard game, but I just don't know. I've got a feeling that Newcastle. But it's hard how Manchester City's been playing at the minute. I mean, this is hard to predict. Obviously, I predict Manchester City to win, but the score is always hard. But I'm going to go 3-1 City.
I've written down 3-1 City as well.
Yeah.
I just feel, look, Newcastle are a decent team, but it's a big old pitch at St. James's Park. And I feel like chasing Man City when they have the ball on a big pitch, you just don't want to do it. Palace home to Villa.
2-0 Palace.
Yeah?
Yeah, Palace 2-0. Zaha.
I go for 1-0.
1-0?
Yeah.
I've gone for 2-1 to Crystal Palace. I'm not impressed by anything Villa do, if I'm honest.
I think that
I will say if they start Buendia, my score prediction will change. Because Buendia looked... I'm not saying it rides on one game, but everything went through Buendia when he came on.
Everything. And he could have scored. After he scored, he could have scored again.
Yeah, he could have scored another one.
Good chances, yeah.
Oh, yeah, 2-0 Palace for me.
I
might even change that to 3. No, I'll keep him 2-0.
Fulham versus Brentford, the West London derby. If I'm not wrong, neither team have lost yet.
No. I'm going to go 2-2. Mitrovic with 2, De Silva and Tony.
I love how precise you go with it. Like, do you want to give me the minute of the goal as well? And
Mitrovic is going to score a penalty and a header. There you go. If he does score a penalty and a header, do you know, I might even put a bet on that. Just a couple of pounds.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one, and Brentford, good side, good manager, play lovely football, since there was in the Championship come up last season. But tough one. I don't know what Fulham, before the season started, I was thinking a lot about Fulham. Will they struggle? But now they start signing players. They signed a player in our midfield who Tottenham was so interested for 57 million. Not last season, the year before in the winter transfer. Palhinha was so close to sign for Spurs. Yeah, and he's a good midfielder. I rate him. He didn't have a good season last year with Sporting, but the year before he had amazing. That's why his market value went up. But last year was a bit poor. But I'm gonna go 2-1 Fulham.
I'm going 2-0 Brentford.
I'm going 2-1 Fulham.
Fulham will definitely score in this game.
All right. We'll see.
Mitrovic.
We see.
We'll see.
He actually said to all Chelsea and Tottenham. I heard him in about 10 shows saying Chelsea Tottenham is going to finish 2-2, and he got it right.
Bournemouth at the Vitality versus them lot in the red half of North London.
Oh, 4-0 Arsenal.
Nah, too much, isn't it, Harry?
Nah, 3-0 Arsenal. 3-1. Bournemouth.
I've got 3-1 written down.
What? 3-1 for Arsenal?
Gabriel Jesus.
Oh, yeah.
Gabriel Jesus 2, Saka 1. The goal.
I just feel, I mean, look, we say the fixtures have been kind, but they're confident. This is a kind fixture.
You can only play what's in front of you.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel another opportunity for Jesus to get his account, stocked up. So
captain in fantasy.
3-1.
Yeah. So I'm going to, man. I know you need to go, Savva, but
No. Listen, we've got 5 minutes.
I'm joking. I'm going for 2-1 Arsenal.
Okay. 2-1 Arsenal. All right.
Yeah.
West Ham versus their bogey team, Brighton, at the Caravan Olympic site.
West Ham 2, Brighton 2.
2-2.
I want to go 3-2 Brighton, but I think it's a draw.
I just don't see these two teams having 5 goals between them. When I look at...
There's quite a few goals in this game. Last year it was 2-2, I think. Brighton go with obviously confidence. West Ham absolutely deadbeat, and they have to play Thursday night, and they've got to play the Thursday after. They'll rest a lot of players for Thursday.
Yeah, he will rest it for the Conference League, definitely.
And West Ham's bogey team is Brighton, so I'm going to go a 2-2 draw.
I'm going for 1-1 draw.
I'm going for a 2-1 Brighton win.
Yeah,
imagine that. 3 games played, West Ham, no wins.
I don't really do heart over head. I just think they will. I think Brighton play some good stuff. And am I right in saying Brighton? They've conceded 1 so far in the 2 games, have they?
Yeah, and it was 9 goals.
Conceded 1 to Man United. All right, well, talking about Man United, the last game of the weekend is
Monday night, isn't it?
I believe it's the Monday Night Football.
Yeah, 8 o'clock.
This used to be one of the biggest games in the world, and now it's just well.
It's the most watched game in. Last year. It's the most watched game in Europe.
It might be the most watched, but it's not the biggest anymore with Man United involved, is it?
Is it half time?
I mean, Man United versus Liverpool.
I've got a big shock in this as well.
United at home. I mean, when I was younger, United at home was just always all right. 3 points. 3 points. I feel like Liverpool. I'll predict first this one. I feel like Liverpool are gonna click into gear, and this will be the game that gets their season up and running. I think they'll win 3-0.
Problem Liverpool have got is they don't have. I don't know who they're going to play through the middle, because Firmino's injured, Jota's injured, Nunez is out. I've got a feeling, this is just my opinion, I think Harvey Elliott could play a false 9 role. Someone will play false 9 from their midfield.
Yeah, possibly. Or you might.
They've got 5 injuries already, and if they play Gomez and Van Dijk, they'll comfortably win this game. But Ten Hag's going to be thinking counter. You said 3-0. I'm going to say Man United 1, Liverpool 2.
Liverpool 2. Okay. I thought you were going to say Liverpool 0. I mean, Jose, what are you going for?
He's going to shock you guys, but I'm going to go for a surprise in this game. Yeah. I don't know what. I just got a feeling, right, that this is me. Whatever. I'm not. This is not Cristiano fanboy, but I got a feeling Cristiano is going to score, and I got a feeling this game is going to finish 1-0. I don't know why. I just can't
see United having enough of the football. I just can't. I mean, guys, let's just before we go, 1 minute before we go. If City win this weekend, right,
And
Liverpool don't. Let's assume it's a draw, just for the sake of it. Let's say Liverpool draw this and Liverpool draw this, City win, and the gap is 6 points after 3 games. Is it too early to say that's it? Like, is it too early to say that City won't lose 2 more games?
I think it's too early to say, because how many points there was between City and Liverpool at one stage last season? Was it 8, 10, 12?
I think it was.
One game in a hand as well, I think.
No, this is the thing. It was 12, but at the time, I'm pretty sure I remember seeing that Liverpool had a number of games in hand.
Exactly.
So it was never a true representation.
Yeah. I think it's too early, yeah. Even if Liverpool drop points at this weekend, I don't know what I've got a feeling this weekend. I don't know. I mean,
Man City will drop points against Tottenham. I don't care how good their team is. There's something never goes right for them. I reckon we might draw at home against Man City.
You beat them twice last season, didn't you?
I don't know what it is. They are so
1-0 at home. I remember that was the beginning of the season.
3-2 at home. Harry Kane in the diamond again,
and
but I feel like
3-2 away. Yeah.
I feel like Man City just never goes right for them with us ever.
Yeah, I'm just not sure how long that can keep going on. Right, I that worries me. That fixture, people get too confident. Just quickly, I agree, Jose. I agree with you. By the way, I was just too many times I ask questions and people believe that's my opinion. I agree with you. It will be too early, and then you get people like this guy makes me laugh. Where is he? Martin Blue said Liverpool not nailed on for second, like you seem to say. Well, I mean, it's been 2 games of the season, my friend. I still think Liverpool will finish second because they will click into gear. They're too good not to.
If Liverpool don't finish second, out of the pack, Chelsea, Arsenal and Spurs, who do you think at this moment in time is most likely to finish second?
Chelsea
as well. I agree as well.
Their squad is better. They're lacking a striker. If they get a bloke that can score them 18 to 20 goals a season, like an Aubameyang, their wing backs are superior to ours. Their centre backs are superior. Their central midfield is superior, and they've got a lot of options with Sterling, Matt Havertz, Mount.
Can I just say something quickly about Chelsea? I know if they get like a top scorer, that will massively improve them. That's for sure. But look at Chelsea midfields and defender, who easily will always guarantee you goals.
Yeah,
that's it. That is unbelievable, and something that look at Spurs. You tell me which defender from Tottenham or Arsenal that will score 10 goals a season or 8 goals. Who?
Perisic. That's the only one I think.
He's not.
If he gets game time.
He's not a defender.
I mean, it's kind of like when Greg Spurs saying we have the best counter-attack in the world. That's all well and good as long as you're playing a team that allow you to counter-attack, right? That's what I said for the Chelsea game the other day. Chelsea didn't play high enough up the pitch for us to be able to constantly counter. When we play City, it's different because City play so high up the pitch. If they lose the ball, we can spring on them. Most teams can't. We can. But when you say we've got the best counter-attack in the world, we play Chelsea.
Agree with you, Savva. When you say that, this is what
hang on. Sorry, I just want to get this point out while it's in there. The 3 you're talking about, Greg Spurs, that are the best counter-attacking players in the world, played against Chelsea, and they were all abysmal. So it's easy to say we've got the best counter-attack in the world, but I'm sorry, I don't see it. I see it against certain teams. Most teams will not allow us to counter-attack them.
Look at Scott M's comment, by the way.
I agree.
Yeah, but this is the thing, Scott. This is the thing. People get carried away. And look, guys, what I would say before we finish up in a few minutes, what I would say is, to be a counter-attacking team, you have to play teams that allow you to counter-attack. Most games Spurs play, teams will not leave the edge of their box because it will nullify the counter-attack. Yeah, Wolves. Yeah. These sort of teams. Burnley did it to us twice last season. I can't imagine Fulham and Bournemouth are going to come to Spurs and go, right, play on the halfway line and let Spurs get him. It's not going to happen.
Definitely not.
You know, yeah, but there you go. There's a good one. Said, well, Real Madrid won the Champions League counter-attacking, so you'd have to say they are.
And the Super Cup.
Yeah. Greg Spurs, I'll tell you what then. This is good. Scott, your counter-argument to Scott is that was last season, not this season. How could you say this season then when we haven't had a game where we've counter-attacked anyone? Southampton, we had all the ball. We were all over them. And
but
Chelsea,
you got to remember, we're in a title race.
Mate, fans like this, I love their optimism, but it borders on delusion. They don't. The truth doesn't ever seem to be wanted in there. I don't think we've got the best counter-attack in world football at all. I don't know what that.
Who do you for volume of goals? Who is the best front three in the league?
For volume of goals between the actual front three.
Yeah.
Last year it was Liverpool, right?
Yeah. So what about this year?
This year it should be us, depending if they all stay fit. It should be. But the difference is, as we always say, those teams don't just rely on their forward three. We always have. That's the problem.
That's what I was trying to get at.
I was told last season, Chelsea, blah, blah, blah. Chelsea spread out goals from Reece James, Chilwell, Thiago Silva.
Chelsea
Rudiger.
last year didn't have all this shit go on. It would be interesting to see how far they would have pushed Man City and Liverpool. Because at one point it was only about an 8-point gap.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Wolves will taken 3 goals. Kulu-san. Yeah, I don't know what that's got to do with this conversation, but yeah, okay. Look, we're gonna. Again, it's different. Different front threes, right? I mean, it depends what you're looking for. If it's out and out goals, then Spurs' front three is likely to be consistent as Kulu, Son, and Kane all season. Mm-hmm. Man City will rotate, not probably Haaland, but
I think they'll think he will rotate Haaland.
I don't think he will in many games, but either way, the two either side of him won't be the same every single week. He's already rotated them this year.
Their front three is frightening, absolutely frightening.
Yeah,
the amount of players they can throw in.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is a good comment where Kieran said we still aren't in a position where we know what to expect with Spurs. We could look all for again versus Wolves, or look at. I completely agree with this statement.
Yeah,
I was told. Sorry, go on, Jose.
No, I was saying with this comment, this is what I think. That's why when I predict 3-1, because I was going to go 2-1, but then for surely, Son and Kane, Wolves, it's been really bad. But yeah, I mean, you never know. This is the type of games. Look at last season, you lost to them, right?
Yeah, this is the thing. Look, Greg, I agree with you. Give Spurs space and we'll score. That for me is never the question. It's about if teams have done their homework against Spurs, the first thing you'd say is do not let Son and Kulusevski get in behind you when Kane swivels on the ball. That's the first thing you'd say. Mm-hmm. Yeah, do not let them get in behind you. Pin them back. And Chelsea pinned us back with their wing backs wonderfully well. But look, guys, I will call it a night there, unless there's anything either of you wanted to say as a last parting message.
Yeah. Go on, Harry.
I was just going to say, subscribe to Football Ferreira. He's close to 1,000, and subscribe to Savva Talk Spurs. This and that, the 765 Henry. You can say Ten Hag doesn't have a style to play though. The United players can't do what's required. Yeah, there's a bit of truth in that. Yeah, let's smash a like on the video. Subscribe to all the channels. I will be just saying I will be doing a watch along for the game. I think if I can get round to it, and yeah.
Let's see. Just quickly before I come to you, Jose. Martin Blue, yeah. I'll tell you what, Conte, you are 100% right. He hasn't won countless titles through misjudgment. He's won countless titles through having top quality players. Huge, huge difference. Tottenham are not that team. Jose, what would you like to say?
No, I just want to say a big thank you first to everyone in the chat, for all the support and love as always. And to you guys, I can't thanks you guys enough, all the support and everything you guys been, showing me, it means a lot. Do you know what? And I think my dear friend, she's on the chat, and she knows what I've told her. What does this mean for me and my future on YouTube? I will never be able to thank you guys. And if you guys could always bring me, let's wait until the Champions League start as well. That's going to be very interesting. And yeah, I will always be available to come in the show. And honestly, I feel the happiest man in the world tonight, being in here with you two guys. And I appreciate all the support and love you guys show, and always ending to help me as well. Thank you.
Mate, listen, we all started somewhere. We've all got to help each other, right? All got to help each other. And I feel like a lot of people don't realize that. A lot of people in the chat are very harsh. They subscribe or unsubscribe depending if you've said one thing they like or don't like. I don't think they realize the kind of time and effort that goes in behind the scenes trying to get these types of shows sorted whilst having a job. So look, mate, you're more than welcome. If you ever need anything, you let me and Henry know. Thank you to everyone in the chat. And we'll end this on the worst line that any Spurs fan can ever say. Martin Blue, I've just lost all respect for you. Give him time. It's a project, yet another project that we're in at Tottenham. Is this our 15th in the last 20 years? Guys, take care. See you soon. Thanks for coming on. Thanks to everyone in the chat. Please go and subscribe. I am one away from the 1700 still. One of you. Much love. Catch you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you, man.